Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. 202. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie, he's off until next week sometime. So just the three of us today. Looking forward to a great show. You can always reach us via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. You can leave us a mic drop at any point via the 101 ESPN app. Love to have you participate in anything we're discussing today, whether you agree with us, you don't agree with us, you want to offer us a different perspective.
Why wouldn't you agree with us?
Well, listen, we like free thinkers on this show. So
I mean, but we're pretty on point, right?
You are, Carey. You are. And Marsh is, too.
No, your takes are
a little
solid.
flighty, but...
Well, you did say the Blues are going to win the Stanley Cup.
I did not say that.
You kind of did. Marsh wrote it down.
I said they're not going to do
anything.
I said they're not going to do anything like at the trade deadline, like 2019.
That's
what I said.
Insane of you to say something like that, especially after watching last night.
Yeah, so let's get into this. The Blues are not a playoff team, guys. I hate to break it to you, but they're just not. Their goaltending isn't going to save you enough.
It did yesterday, as long as it could.
As long as it could.
But at some point, it's like the water is going to...
Dam breaks. Welcome to the dam. I'll be your damn guide. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Joel Hofer had to do his best Roman Berkey impression last night, throwing his kicking.
It's all over the place.
What are we doing?
They're not.
Why are we passing the puck up the middle of the ice?
They're not good enough.
Well,
coaching, players, or schemes. Those are the three things.
They lost 4-2. And they probably could have given up 3 or 4 goals in that first period easily.
And how many times have we said that? What day is this? What game is this?
It's like Groundhog's Day. Every day seems to be the same.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because, as you said, you get superb goaltending, but what more do you want from me? I'm sure the goalies, they're not going to say it, but at some point, you think Joe Hofer and Jordan Bennington sit on the back of the bus like, these guys, come on. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, they're not going to say it out loud. These guys, come on.
Right.
How much do I have to do? What do you want from me?
They're not good 5-on-5. That's been an issue all season long.
Kyle Palmieri cannot beat Justin Falk wide.
Right.
Kyle Palmieri. What are we doing?
Quite easy. It seemed.
Look, he just walked right in.
That's what I'm referring to. Yeah.
Kyle Palmieri.
I'll just take this just wide enough, and I'll just score on you. They're not good enough. That's, you know it. You're watching the games. You, Carey, you, Marsh, you listening right now, you know it as a Blues fan. Last night was kind of the nail in the coffin. If you were still, even if you were leaning toward, we're not good enough, and you've been that way for a while, it tipped last night.
I'm sure
you're not good enough.
They'll rattle off like 5 wins in a row.
I'm sure they will. I'm here for it. That'd be fantastic. That'd be great.
And then what? Just finish out of the second wild card?
I have always said...
No, they'll miss by like 2 games.
I've maintained that as long as they make the playoffs, that was my expectation. I don't care if they won the Central. I don't care if they're the second wild card. Just make the playoffs. You're sitting 6 points behind Nashville. You're not going to make it. And there's no move to be made because you're cap strapped. You could trade Pavel Buchnevich. You could trade Marco Scandella. What are you going to get? You got a bunch of draft picks?
What move is going to get you better for this year? At this point,
nothing for this year.
We talked about it.
You're not good enough.
There you go. We've talked about it. This is the most important stretch of the year. We said it like 5 times. But this one, it really meant.
We said really that in February. We said that in January.
But we really meant it this time because you were headed to the trade deadline. And you're at the point where, all right, fellas, yep, you made the bed, now lay in it.
Yeah.
You already got a coach fired. I'm not letting you out of this. You're going to have to finish it. And I think that almost is going to be the mindset of Army at the deadline. It doesn't feel like there's anything that can strike light a fire under this team to get them to win. Trading Buchnevich is definitely not going to make you better. Mm-hmm. So what's the point? Unless you're conceding on this year and saying we're just going to build for the future. We're going to get some draft capital. We're going to get a player that we can have under contract because we know Buchnevich is going to be up after next year. We'll do that way. We'll go that way. But I'm not going to say that the season is a lost cause because there are still, 22 games left? But, yeah.
If I'm Doug Armstrong, I'm letting the deal, I'm letting the return dictate whether or not I trade Pavel Buchnevich or anybody for that matter. Mm-hmm. If I like the deal, he's gone. If I don't, he'll stay, and I'll try again in the offseason or next trade deadline. That you can kind of sit and pick at this point. What are the offers? There's going to be plenty of offers that are going to be coming in. Vegas is going to want him. Other contenders are going to be calling for him. You can sit there, listen to the offers, and if you believe, without the benefit of hindsight, that that's the best offer, trade him. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have to. What I'm saying is you don't have to worry about, if I let go of him, do I make the playoffs? You're 6 points behind. Your team hasn't been good enough.
I don't even think this team's good enough to make the playoffs next year.
Oh, come on.
Why would you?
Hey. That'll be 3 years in a row. Don't you say that, Marshall.
Why would you? Why?
I've already experienced it before.
Oh, come on.
Why would you think any other way? It would be the same. It would be a similar roster.
Why is it not the same results as 2019?
Because team had
you don't have enough
players.
You don't have a strong enough defense.
You have grit.
You don't have a strong enough defense. I'm so sick of hearing about the guys that can score. Can you play? Can you play defense or not? Are you committed defensively or not?
Defense is a will and a want to.
Dude, unless you're Connor McDavid, I'm sorry, you got to play defense. Like if you're gonna score, you know who's got the most goals right now? Marsh, do you know off the top of your head?
Should be.
I think it's Booch.
They're tied.
No. I mean in the league.
Oh.
McKinnon's got the most points. Let's see here. Goals. Austin Matthews has 53 goals. So what does he finish with this year?
Probably like 60,
65?
7.
Okay.
I don't know. He's been scoring goals at an alarming rate.
You gonna score 65 plus goals? Okay, no problem. I'll leave you alone. If you're gonna hover around 40 and you don't play defense, you gotta go. I'm sorry.
No, you get 40.
Out.
Where are we at right now? Who's our leader? Is it Buchnevich with?
I'm sure it's Buchnevich.
Yeah, Buch has 24 goals this season.
That's your leader at 24 goals.
24.
Okay.
There you go.
Thomas has 20.
Let's stop
Jordan
talking.
Kyrou has 20.
Let's stop talking about the offense.
Jake Neighbors has 20.
If you get to 40, you can kind of accept it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's Anthony. If Buchnevich had 40 goals, or if he ends with 40 goals, let's say 45, you would be okay.
If he had 45 goals with the amount of games left, the team's making the playoffs.
Yeah.
If he had it,
but
now.
He's not. But he's
I'm talking about towards the end, at the end of the season.
He's got 24.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not in the same neighborhood. You're talking. You're right now, Carey. You're talking in Wichita, Kansas. Marsh is in New York City at this point.
Yeah, I am.
So we're not
close. You're not close at this point. No. So stop talking about we need more offense. We need more offensive scoring depth. You don't have enough offensive scoring depth as it is to even build upon. I would start defensively. This is what I was trying to say yesterday. I would rebuild. I would try to build up the defense as much as possible. And then I would let the young guys play. Well, where's the scoring going to come from? You don't have scoring right now.
It'll come.
It won't.
No, it'll come from the young guys that you drafted.
That's fine. Good. I'll roll with the young guys.
When you want to bring them up? When you want to give them an opportunity?
Next year.
Next year? You don't want to see Snuggerud this year?
I would love to see Jimmy Snuggerud. I would love for Minnesota to lose.
You drafted all these tournament. You drafted all these young forwards, correct? Correct? You got Jake Neighbors, you got Bolduc, you've got Snuggerud, you've got Dvorsky, you got all these young forwards that you drafted. I am pouring in to my defense. I want to build what Vegas has. That is my model. And unfortunately, they have Alex Pietrangelo, who I also had. But okay, they can't right now. But that's at least my goal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of watching these GMs for any sport just chase their tail. Pick a direction. You watch these teams. You watch a team win a Stanley Cup. You watch a team win a Super Bowl. You watch a team win a World Series. What are they doing that you're not? How do you build a roster? We get so caught up. I'm putting myself in this category too. We get so caught up in grading the individual transaction. Sonny Gray. Is he a good signing? Yeah, he's a good signing. In the landscape of the rotation, you don't have enough. Because you have Lance Lynn, and you have Kyle Gibson, you have Miles Michaelis, and Steven Matz. You don't like Sonny Gray. I like the signing. I'm not just talking about one signing anymore. How are you building the roster? And the roster for the Blues right now needs to be taken down.
Well, how do you
not completely to the studs, but
so,
you got to try to move on.
But they tried that. They tried to move on this summer,
right?
And
you got to try. And you have to. Sorry, you got to try again.
No, thank you. But they have. But
you do?
They have no trade clauses.
I understand that.
In many of these players. So if you gave them the no trade clause, you essentially are hamstrung. You aren't allowing yourself to make some of those moves. If you feel like you need to get younger, or you feel you need to get more athletic, more aggressive. In some issues, you're hamstrung because of the contract.
Sure, you blanked up, but that doesn't mean, oh, I'm sorry, I blanked up. Let me go sit in the corner. Figure it out.
But how?
Trade Buchnevich, trade Scandella. I try to trade Krug again. Maybe it's to a spot that he likes this time. I'm fielding offers for Jordan Kyrou. Let's go.
Are you?
Yes.
This team is not working.
Correct.
I don't see it working in the future. So things need to change.
So then we are no longer talking about a retool. We're talking about a rebuild.
Call it whatever you want.
It is no longer, if you're trading, if you, Anthony Stalter, are trading Torrey Krug, Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou, Marco Scandella. Who else did you say? Did I miss anybody else?
Nope, you didn't miss anybody.
You're rebuilding.
Fine.
And you're bringing youth up.
Correct.
It's no longer a retool.
That's fine.
It's an overhaul.
But either way,
get rid of 4, 5, 6 guys.
Yeah.
You're doing something.
But what's the difference, though? You're not making the playoffs.
Exactly. How'd you do the last 2 years?
Come on.
You gonna fight? Are you gonna fight for this thing? Because last year you got rid of the expiring contracts. You kept the coach. This year you fired the coach.
Yeah.
So last year's the players. This year's the coach. No, it's the roster construction.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's easy.
This is my when people trade such a. Do you think teams are going to be clamoring for Jordan Kyrou if he doesn't or has not performed to the level of his contract here?
Oh, there's a team. Yeah, there's a team.
I think there's Carey. I think
maybe, but what are you getting in return?
There's dumb enough teams everywhere.
What are you getting in return?
I want defense. I want oak trees.
And when Jordan Kyrou goes and scores 48 goals,
good for him. He's not scoring 48 here. That's what I care about. That's what I care about.
All right.
We can't. We're so paralyzed. We as fans are so paralyzed.
No,
when we watch,
You see Tyler O'Neill.
Right.
He has a late kick now. He hits a home run.
Yeah. He was hurt often. His ass needed to go.
But you know what's going to happen. when that dude hits 25-plus home runs for Boston, who finishes in dead last, we're going to get text messages. Oh, see, you got rid of the wrong guy. No, you didn't. You got 25 home runs for a dead last team. How'd they do? How do you do? Oh, yeah, nice day. Finished last place. Okay. We're trying to win. We're not trying to nickel and dime whether or not a certain player is going to work out someplace else. Good for Jordan Kyrou if he goes off and scores someplace. I want to win, and I want to build a team. I'm not worried about just Jordan Kyrou. Just my thoughts.
You need to change the mindset.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to change your mindset.
Okay.
Because you're pushing back right now.
I'm sorry.
Which is fine. But, Carey, you either get on this train or not. I don't care. It's still moving. It's leaving.
Gosh darn it.
We good?
Tickets. Give me your tickets.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. All right, let's get into this Cardinals team now, huh?
Oh, no.
Do the Cardinals have a limit the losses mentality? Marsh posed this question to us. It fits perfectly with what I think how the Cardinals operate. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Our guy Andrew Marsh posed the question to us today before the show. Do the Cardinals have a quote-unquote limit the losses mentality? Is there a difference between trying to win and trying not to lose? Absolutely, and I think the Cardinals fit that bill. I think that this plays perfectly into what I've often said about the Cardinals worrying more about the floor than they do the ceiling. With a floor, it's a little easier to predict or project what a player is going to be and what he's not going to be. And I think the Cardinals will consistently choose a player that might not have the highest upside, meaning you may get an MVP out of him, but you also may have a complete bust that sets you back a few years because that was your first-round pick or your big-time signing. They eschew that to go with, or they bypass that to go with a player that is a safe choice. We know what he's going to be. Lance Lynn, we know what he's going to be. Kyle Gibson, same deal. Sonny Gray, big signing, right? Quote unquote big signing. You kind of know what Sonny Gray is, though. And I'm glad the Cardinals have him. Don't get me wrong, because without him, this rotation looks 10 times worse.
They don't have him right now.
You don't have him right now, but hopefully you will for, at some point in April. They go for the player that doesn't have a lot of risk. Now, there is a very safe player. They have turned the corner a little bit on this, thanks to Randy Flores. Mm-hmm. The draftings of Jordan Walker, high school player, draftings of Mason Wynn, somebody that at one point you didn't know if he was going to be a pitcher or shortstop. They've gone with guys with a lot more upside, but that upside also comes with more risk. I think they've done a better job of this. But there's a reason why as soon as Sonny Gray got hurt, we came on these airwaves and I said, there's no way in hell they're going to sign Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell. There's too much risk for the Cardinals. So when and Marsh, correct me if I'm wrong on this, if I'm interpreting your question the wrong way, but do they try to limit losses? Do they have that mentality? Again, to me, that means they go for the floor. Mm-hmm. They're worried about the floor, not the ceiling.
Well, you can't have much success that way. I mean, that would mean that you know exactly the bare minimum, but you don't pay players for the bare minimum. You pay them because you need guys, hopefully, to be superstars and be crucial in certain moments of games and show up. Every team has levels to you have your superstars, your future Hall of Famers, you have your all-stars, your guys that, maybe make it to 3 or 4 all-star games, but may not cross that threshold of being an elite superstar. Mm-hmm. And you got guys that are grunts that are kind of, where they are and how good they can be, but they're never going to be an all-star level, or they'll never be the superstar level. But you got to have all of those guys on your team. And if you are consistently just looking for guys, well, I know I can trust him. I know he's not going to give me the guy that I told you when you walk down the hall, they got blinders on. They don't know nothing. Give me about 3, 4, 5 of those guys, and I think we're going to win because those guys have something in them that other people don't have. They have an innate ability to only focus on the task at hand, and you're going to win because they're going to will themselves and their team to do so. I do agree with you in terms of the Cardinals just searching for just the guy that is going to be there and he's going to show up and be on time. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. You got to have it. But when you're going and searching for those elite guys, they bring something different that you can't even quantify. You can't put a measurement or a number on it. You don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, what the hell what is that guy? I don't know. It's just who he is, how he was created. He's just different. And when you're in the room with those guys, you know that they exist. So you have to have some of those guys on your roster. And I think
if you're going to win,
if you want to win,
at the highest of levels.
If you don't want to win, don't sign them.
Right.
Because they can be a headache. They can be a nuisance. They can be a little bit weird.
Right.
You know, Ricky Henderson might be one of those guys where I didn't even know what's your name. Mm-hmm. We've been playing together for 8 years. I heard a story that David Ortiz was like Dustin Pedroia. He didn't know his real name. He said, "What do you call you?" Dustin. It's my name. I've been batting behind you for I don't know how many years. I didn't know that. Like, blinders.
Right.
I don't care what they say after I get up to bat. That ain't my problem. What is the pitcher throwing me? That's all I care about. So just having those guys, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? The guys like that, he is a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Guys like that are going to be Hall of Famers. They don't care. And you have to have those guys on your roster if you want to win.
I think it's important to differentiate that the limit the losses mentality, at least in my mind, it comes from the front office and not necessarily the players on the field.
No, we're only talking about the front office.
I do think this team and what they've constructed have that mentality of, all right, hey, we're going to put our head down, we're going to go to work.
Yeah.
I think the problem is I don't know if they have the talent compared to all the other teams to actually win the World Series or win a few playoff rounds. Mm-hmm. This is all about the front office.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm rooting for the players. I hope the players do well. Like, I feel like a lot of people in this town hope they do well so we can enjoy our summer. Mm-hmm. But from a front office standpoint, that's not the case.
I was going to ask, do you feel like there are so much similarities between the Cardinals and the Blues right now in terms of the teams, in terms of – because – what we just talked about, you could feel like we were talking about in the office, superstars. Mm-hmm. Like you need, and everyone. Robert Thomas is probably in that second tier right now. Mm-hmm. All-star, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. Will he get to that upper echelon and be a future Hall of Fame? I don't know, because I think he's in the middle right now.
I think that the biggest similarity between the two teams is that, in my opinion, and I know nothing about building roster, I've never done it before, but in my opinion, based on what I've observed from other teams who have won, is that these rosters are not constructed in the manner to win it all.
They're constructed in a way that fits the trends of the league, and there's a reason why a lot of those other teams don't succeed, but it appeals to the fan's eye, right? Like we talk about offense.
Exactly.
People want to see offense. What's going to get people in their seat? I'll tell you what's going to get people in their seat. You winning meaningful games.
Just win.
Down the stretch.
I think Doug Armstrong, again, in my opinion, started to chase the trend of speed, offense, all that, and he won in 19. Mm-hmm. For the same reason that Vegas won last year. He had a defense and a lockdown goaltender, and they wore you down. There have been other teams that have come up short built that way, but those teams still had a shot. Mm-hmm. I think the Cardinals, after 2019, really sold out for offense. I think the Ozuna trade, and really it's not just 19. You could go before that because Ozuna's actually on that 19 team. The era of Steven Biscotti and Randall Grichuk and like that team, I think really did a number on Mo. Like if I could slide over, a Mo fashion, as Jamie would say, to Mo and say, hey, talk to me about those Randall Grichuk, Steven Biscotti years. 2 good, like 2 solid players, but they're hitting the middle of your lineup. Mm-hmm. You weren't good enough.
No.
Mm-hmm. And I think that Mo started to say, we got to get more offense. We got to get more offense. And I think what wound up happening, coupled with the tragic passing of Oscar Taveras, he sold out for offense and completely ignored what really got the Cardinals to the dance, which is pitching. Mm-hmm. And something that he was actually incredibly good at. You think about the trade for Adam Wainwright, or the signings of Kyle Loesch, or the draft picks of Michael Wacha.
Well, how about 2011, too? Not even starting pitching, but bullpen helped, too.
Completely revamped the bullpen. He gave up the one prized possession to completely revamp his bullpen. That, I think, is something that Mo was always good at, was recognizing pitching. And he sold out to get the offense that the league was going in. And what ultimately did him in last year? It was the pitching. Mm-hmm. What will do him in this year? The pitching. Now, at some point, maybe they do have the young guys pitching. You know, they've caught up a little bit now, and we'll see a brighter future after this season. But this is just my opinion in terms of like looking at the rosters. I think they're constructed in the manner of, you're okay. You got some sporadic talent. You might be a wild card team. You might win a bad NL Central. You ain't winning anything after that.
I think that's where you, as the president of baseball operations, have to be honest with your fan base. You have to have end-of-season press conferences and explain. You have to be able to say, hey, you know, our pitching has struggled. We went out to go get these guys. Our plan is, which is why we signed them to one-year deals with an option, our plan is to hopefully have Tink Hintz and Graceffo or McGreevy or Zach Thompson or Matthew Liberatore to become starters in the next year or so. Mm-hmm. That is our plan. But instead of saying that, yeah, we fixed it, people aren't stupid. People aren't ignorant. And so we have eyes, we pay attention, we know that these guys are older, and the plan has to be, there has to be a succession plan for younger guys to hopefully
it's a bridge year
take over
for your pitching.
But say that. Mm-hmm. Don't treat us like we're idiots. Oh, we fixed it. Did you? The guys are 39 years old. They are hanging
They're not that old.
I'm sorry.
You can't.
35 as a group.
I don't think you can say that, though.
Steven Matz is 33. He's the youngest.
Yeah. I think you can. I mean, I know.
What do you say to your player? What are you saying to Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt?
Yeah,
you're still, but you're not saying we're planning on losing because you did sign those guys.
Yeah.
Because they are veterans, because they have had success in the league, because they know how to win and how to battle through and hopefully eat up innings. So you did sign those guys with the expectation of winning. But the future plan, the 3 to 5 year plan is, after this year, our hopes are some of these younger guys gain some experience and they are ready to take over this role and be the superstars or the young pitchers that we need them to be for our future. And it just continues to transition. When Nolan Arenado eventually retires, when Paul Goldschmidt, when we don't re-sign him or he retires, we have young stars in Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn to be the face of the franchise now, coupled with some of these younger pitchers. That is when you are communicating effectively, and people don't think you're a jerk. They just say, you know what? He has a plan. Trust it. Believe it. And you may not like it. That's the thing. When you're in a position of leadership, everyone will not agree with you. So what? It's your plan. And if it works, hats off to you. If it doesn't, I didn't do it right. Okay, but you have a plan, and people are not going to agree with it, but you go about it that way.
I think what a lot of people are frustrated about, though, is that they've heard the same thing over and over and over again for the past 5 years. And we talk about that timeline.
Yeah.
The timeline for the pitching and the offense have not come together at the same time. So hopefully, like what you just described, Carey, hopefully within the next 2 years, hopefully it comes together this year, but within the next 2 years, hopefully those timelines can meet because they haven't in the past.
We've got what's trending coming up next in the Fast Lane. Again, you can participate in the show. Love to have you. Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646, or you can always leave us a mic drop via the 100% free 101 ESPN app. What's trending next in the Fast Lane? Even though it was all the way back in 2013, I still remember moving into our new house and thinking to myself, I want to have the best lawn on the block, and I'm going to do it myself. So I went out to the hardware store, and I started to buy a bunch of stuff off the shelf, not knowing really what I was doing, and it wound up being a big mess. I didn't control the weeds, everything, certain spots were overgrown, certain spots wasn't growing at all. Fortunately, I had a Green Envy person stop by, a technician stop by and say, hey, let me walk through the lawn here. Let me tell you exactly what's going on. I signed up up with Green Envy immediately. I knew that they were, they knew what they were doing. Locally owned and operated, been in business in St. Louis for over a decade. Green Envy only uses products, unlike the ones I was trying to buy, formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, turf types. They also understand that there's certain spots because of where your house sits, that there's areas where the lawn's going to look great because of where the sun hits, and certain areas that need special treatment. That's what Green Envy does. They know it. They're the experts. And with the spring weather coming, you want to give 636-757-1600 a call, because Green Envy knows that with the rain and the warmer temps, that means that you've got crabgrass and a whole bunch of weeds and everything popping up throughout your lawn. You want to be on top of it. Green Envy can help. Give them a call, 636-757-1600. Tell them Stalter sent you. Again, it's Green Envy.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lost last night to the New York Islanders by a final score of 4-2. The Blues took a 2-0 lead in the second period, and the Islanders responded with four unanswered goals. We'll talk with our Blues insider Jeremy Rutherford at 4:30 about last night's game and tomorrow's game, as the Blues take on the New Jersey Devils. Pre-game for that one starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
With Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, and here is Andrew Marsh with What's Trending.
All right, gentlemen, the NHL trade deadline is approaching. We have some trades that have been made. Former Blue Vladimir Tarasenko heading to Florida to become a Florida Panther. The Senators will receive a conditional 2024 fourth-round pick that would become a 2026 third-round pick if the Panthers win the Stanley Cup. They will also receive a 2025 third-round pick and are retaining 50% of Tarasenko's $5 million salary. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a good move for the Panthers? They're the best team in the NHL right now. Do you think bringing on Vladimir Tarasenko is a good move for them?
So Vladimir Tarasenko was at his best overall in 2019. There wasn't a lot of focus on him. The team was good enough. It was well balanced throughout. It wound up being good enough. Obviously, the first half of that year was not good. So I think that when he goes to Florida, with all of that talent that's with the Panthers, I think he could just slide in and be himself. I think that's the best version of Vladimir Tarasenko. I also think it's interesting that he goes from one Tkachuk brother to the other. But like with the Senators, they've had an okay season, but they're not good enough overall. But he's going to a contender now.
I mean, that's really good for him, right? Coming from being here a couple of years ago and obviously as terrible as they were last year, not doing great, being traded, and now finding his way to the top team in the league is going to benefit him. And I'm sure it's going to benefit Matthew Tkachuk. When you have another scorer, and are they going to be on the line together on the same line more than likely?
I would not put him on the same line.
You wouldn't put him on the line
No.
with Matthew Tkachuk?
No, would you?
No.
Why not?
I don't want to change a thing on that first line.
I don't think you're good enough to. I don't think Tarasenko's good enough to play on that line.
Well,
if I'm acquiring him from scoring depth, secondary depth. I don't want him infecting my top line.
On a second line would be beneficial because it's more offensive prowess. It's a guy that can put the puck in the net, a guy that knows how to score, a Stanley Cup champion, a guy that, if we were talking earlier about guys that believe they're superstars, he's one of those guys. Like, he truly believes that he's a superstar, and he has an opportunity going to one of the top teams, the top team in the National Hockey League, to prove that again. So I think it's a great signing for him, a great trade for him.
Yeah, I think he can think that he's the best player on the third line.
It doesn't matter. All you got to do is think you're the best player on the ice.
That's fine. Go for it.
You can literally trick yourself into believing I'm the best one here. And I don't care. Hey. Matthew who?
Yeah.
Who the hell's that guy?
Believe what you got to believe, man.
I'm that guy. Me, pal.
What's your
play
name?
Well.
Dustin?
I'm Dustin Pedroia.
Wait, what did he call you?
People love me here.
Anthony, I brought this up to you in the office, but Carey, I wanted to get your thoughts on this as well. So Jason Kelce, he retired the other day and had like a 40-minute press conference. I listened to the whole thing. It was awesome. He was super emotional, getting into all these different stories about his career. One story that came up through Twitter, actually, was his trainer, Joe. And for 13 seasons, Trainer Joe would, and that's his name on Instagram, Trainer Joe. Trader Joe. Trader Joe. Actually went to Raider Bows, as BT likes to call it. But so his trainer taped his, would tape him up for about 13 years, and due to the trainer, I believe he was going through chemo at the time, he was unable to tape up Jason Kelce for his final game ever in Tampa Bay. Wow. And so before his retirement, before the press conference, he and trainer Joe got with each other, and he taped him up one final time. And so I just had a question for you, because obviously, you played in the league, and do you think that's like a dying breed now of players that like they just do things the right way? Do you think we're in a different era now? I think social media makes things so different now. And I hate to sound like the old guy, but I think more people do things for likes. Mm-hmm. The 15-second clip, the 30-second clip, as opposed to actually living and going about their business in the correct way.
because for 15 seconds, the whole world will think you're doing an outstanding job, but you're not. you put on a show and you allow people to have a sneak peek into what you're doing, but in actuality, you're not handling your business correctly. And I think, what Jason Kelce did at his size for as long as he did, it's fantastic to have won a Super Bowl, to have played in multiple Super Bowls, and to just embody the city of Philadelphia in the way that he did. He talked about it. He said, this is a tough city, but if you show up to work every day, work your butt off, this city will love you. And they grew to love him. And he did a fantastic job and will be a future Hall of Famer. I think he was 7-time Pro Bowler, just a staple in the city of Philadelphia. And I think it's really cool. The thing about your trainer, the cool part about it, once you find the trainer that tapes your ankles the way, you don't go to anybody else. No one else can touch me. I don't want you taping me. If they're not here, I just won't have tape today. I want the same. It's so psychological. It's like, oh, what if I roll my ankle because you tape me instead of you? Not today. So the trainer that tapes you, you go, you only line up, you every single day. It's like everybody has a time slot. You understand your place. If there's a veteran, you got to wait behind him. If you're the veterans, they got to wait behind you. So that to me is probably one of the best parts about the NFL. Making good money and playing in the NFL and being on TV is wonderful. But the relationships that you build with people in the building, not just your teammates, the kitchen staff, the custodians. It's a great feeling to be involved in. Jason Kelce did a great job.
That was one of the best retirement speeches that anybody could ever give.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about who he thanked people for, obviously the trainer. He went back to like his lacrosse days, his band days, his hockey
band teacher.
Band teacher, and he showed humility. He said, all of you taught me countless lessons and put up with a very young, rambunctious kid that was full of immaturity, stupidity, and cockiness. He was thanking them while also saying, hey, I know it's probably a handful. Here's the other thing that I thought was great, and I thought about it when you were talking about the NFL. Listen to this. I thought this was incredible. He goes, the NFL is truly like no other place, and at the same time represents America as a whole like no other. Fat offensive linemen from Cleveland play on the same field as skinny wide receivers from Louisiana and kickers from Chicago. Tight ends from Stanford playing next to tackles from Kilgore Community College. Defensive ends from inner city Detroit play next to defensive tackles from Yazoo City, Mississippi. 6'9" players play the same spot as 4'8" running backs. He's talking to Darren. He's talking about Darren Sproles. He's talking about Jordan Mailata. I mean, he's right. It's amazing, and you all have it in one locker room. And if you got the right mix of players, you're all fighting for the same thing. I thought it was so well said.
If the world could be like a football locker room, the world would be a much better place. And I mean that wholeheartedly. You got guys, I mean, I had teammates from Wyoming. I learned we had Country Thursdays. I never listened to country music, but Thursdays, we had Country Thursdays. Garth Brooks, I Got Friends in Low Places became my jam. And so there are so many things that you learn about people different from you, and you are all working towards a common goal. If the world was like a locker room, we would be much better, I promise.
Yeah, you're right. All right, that's what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Is trading Pavel Buchnevich the right move at the trade deadline? We'll get into that next. The guys and I were just talking about having a cool locker room experience, right, where everybody's then kind of going for the same goals. Not necessarily the same idea, but I do enjoy going down to the Missouri Athletic Club and meeting people of all different ages, of all different backgrounds, people that do much different things than what I do from a career standpoint or in different spots in their life. And we just all kind of, whether we're working out or run into a lot of people when I'm sitting in the steam room or taking classes down at the Missouri Athletic Club. It's just fun getting to know people. And of course, with the events that they have, whether it's the West Clubhouse or the downtown spot where they got great dinners and banquets, and the West Clubhouse always have different unique family things to do. It's a great spot. It's my MAC, Missouri Athletic Club. Is trading Pavel Buchnevich the right move at the trade deadline? It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. Yes. No. Depending on the return.
No.
Why do you say no, Carey? I'm interested.
You aren't going to get what you want in return.
How do you know?
It's just, what do you want in return for Pavel Buchnevich at the trade deadline? Let me ask this first. Is this
Just
trade?
ask me.
I want to ask you something else. Got a first question before I get to that question.
All right.
What is the purpose of this trade? Is it to make this team better this year or for next year?
I'm not even looking at it that way.
Okay. So what do you want in return? What do you expect in return?
Let me answer first, though, why I said I'm not even looking at it that way.
Okay.
I can't sign Pavel Buchnevich.
Next year.
Correct.
After next year. But
Yes.
that's not this offseason. That's next offseason.
But when
so
am
you
I-
have another year of potentially another year of him being under contract with you.
But theoretically, when is the best time to move a player?
When at the trade deadline, when they have, it depends. It could be next year, or it could be in the offseason when.
When am I going to maximize my return?
I think it'll either be at the trade deadline or in the offseason. I think it would be less next trade deadline because it would be 3 or 4 months left on the contract.
You and I are in agreement with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I would rank them, though, this trade deadline,
Okay.
the offseason. I would even say this trade deadline, long pause, offseason, even
'Cause
longer pause.
You get a year and a half if you do it at the deadline.
And teams are desperate. They want to win right now. The offseason, you're building something thinking, we're building a contender. Right now, teams know that they're a contender, and they want to add Buchnevich. And, oh, by the way, you get him for a whole another year next year so you can make another run, Vegas. Now is the time to move
That where
him.
you trade?
Wherever I get the best return. Now, yes, what do I want in return? I want NHL players that are going to slide into my lineup right now. Probably not realistic, because contenders aren't going to give you players
There you go.
in return. They want those players to make a run.
Correct.
So I am going to estimate then. I'm going to look at Buchnevich, trading Buchnevich, as if it were any trade. It's in a vacuum. If I'm the one that's giving up the player, then I'm going to look at it in a vacuum, not how do I build for the future. It is simply what is the best return that I can get. If Vegas is offering me, a couple of first-round picks and a couple of prospects or whatever it may be, if, I don't know, Marsh, who's another team that's been linked to Buch?
Like maybe Edmonton.
Edmonton calls me.
Said Vegas.
What you getting back from Edmonton?
Edmonton's giving me prospects and a draft pick. Now I know that Vegas is probably going to make a deeper run than Edmonton, so Edmonton's first-rounders are probably going to be more valuable. I'm going to assess what the best deal is, and then I'm going to make the move. If I hate all of the trades, if I hate all of the what's potentially coming back, then I hold on to him, and I go into the offseason with an opportunity to trade him again. The one and only Randy Carricker now stepping in.
What you just said, Anthony, about trying to get a player from a contender brought to mind how lucky the Blues got when they got Brett Hull, because Calgary was so loaded. They knew that Brett Hull was going to be a great player, but they also knew they needed a big right-handed shot defenseman and a goalie. So they get Ramage and Walmsley for Brett Hull and Steve Bozak. And there's only been a couple of those trades made in the history of the league. You're exactly right. Nobody that's contending that knows what the hell they're doing is going to give up that player unless they're just overloaded with talent.
Sure, and that's going to be and who's overloaded right now with talent in a cap strap league.
Nobody is. That's a great point. It won't happen now in a cap league. The other one, by the way, was Joe Nieuwendyk when he went to Dallas for Jerome Iginla, and Calgary gets Iginla, and he winds up being a Hall of Famer. But I think those are the only two that I can think of where really good players got traded by contenders for an established guy like Buchnevich.
So Carey and I are going back and forth here. Would you trade Buchnevich right now?
Yeah, I think I would, because I got to look long term, and I don't think Buchnevich is enough of a difference maker for a Stanley Cup championship team. I think he's a nice player. I think he's the kind of player you have to have, but he's a guy that you win with, not because of. And somewhere along the line, the Blues are going to have to find that guy they win because of. But I think when you sign Buchnevich, if you sign him, I think if you keep him, you're not going to give him a contract beyond the age of 30 anyway. So you might as well get max value, and I think his max value for the Blues probably is now.
Yeah, I
if not
agree.
now, then during the offseason.
If I could sign him because I got the cap space, it's a different story, but I don't.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and he'll be 30 when the new contract starts, too.
Right.
And they've shown an aversion to signing guys that are going to be in their 30s.
Well, and the thing is, if you do keep him, then what do you have to do next? You have to find ways to get rid of some of the contracts
Right.
that you have now. Otherwise, you're going to be the exact same team that you were the last season and this season, and nothing changes.
Which is why I think if you were to trade him, I don't necessarily need players back because you are creating an opening for a Snuggerud or for Neighbors to potentially move up to the first line because he's playing so well. You allow yourself to have that open spot and start to bring in some of those younger players that you've been waiting on to see. Zachary Bullduk can move up. You just get opportunities for younger guys to get more playing time, and so I don't necessarily need to see a player in return. If you are going, give me the draft picks, give me some draft capital. So if I need to make another decision later on in the offseason, I got more draft picks to offer a team for a player that can be an impact player.
Yeah, it's the curse of mediocrity, and the Blues were in it for their entire history up until they drafted Vladimir Tarasenko. But you're in the middle of the pack. You aren't good enough to get a Stamkos or an Austin Matthews. You aren't bad enough to get that guy, but you're not good enough so that you're winning Stanley Cups. Right now, they're kind of in that spot that they were for so much of their history, where they're just too mediocre.
They're the Jeff Fisher Rams.
Exactly. That's exactly
Right? They're in the teens.
Except
and you're like,
they aren't going anywhere. Number one.
No, right.
And at least we know the Blues are trying.
Yeah, that's very true. Randy, you're the best, man.
You guys have a great day. Thanks.
You too.
Randy's
Randy.
Place.
Randy Carey. Well, come on back tomorrow morning. Randy Carey, opening drive. You can listen to him, Dan McLaughlin, and Brooke Grimsley do a fantastic job. Carey, I know you're a big fan of
my
that
guy,
show.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy is
Randy's the best.
Randy is the best. Randy gave me the introduction into this whole thing. Randy and I started doing charter football, high school football games in like 2012, 2013. And that was my introduction to Randy character. So I love him. He's my guy.
There you go.
He's
It's
been with me for
fantastic.
a long time.
Gary Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Despite the frustration surrounding last year, is the Cardinals' future actually bright beyond this season? That's next on 101 ESPN. You may have been holding off for a while on replacing a roof or getting it fixed because, listen, those things can be expensive. But with the Happy Roof Company, it doesn't have to be, and they've got financing options that are available. Spring is just a few weeks away. Rain is going to be on the way, too. If you have a leaky roof, you have an old roof, you have a damaged roof, you have an ugly roof, the Happy Roof Company should be your first call. In fact, if you call today, they will have someone to look at your issue within 24 hours. Again, if you call today, the Happy Roof Company will stop by and take a look at your issue within the next 24 hours. They do residential and commercial roofing. They have superior high-end products. One of my favorite aspects about the Happy Roof Company is that they have a 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs. I mentioned the financing options that are available. They've got an A+ rating with the BBB, excellent field supervisors, project communications off the charts with the Happy Roof Company, up-to-date product knowledge, too. They're not just running through outdated materials and stuff that don't fit the Missouri weather conditions, and they don't chase storms. In fact, 100% of their markets in the St. Louis and surrounding areas, their headquarters at the Happy Roof Company in Sunset Hills. Free estimates with competitive pricing. TheHappyRoofCompany.com is where you can visit or give them a call. 314-665-3001. Tell them Stalter sent you.
It's time to fly down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN.
Presented by E&P Granite, Brooke, Jamie, Curbs, and Bernie Federko's choice for countertops and cabinets.
So I was thinking about this in the office today. Despite the frustration surrounding last year, obviously, with the Cardinals, and this offseason's been frustrating, too, for various reasons. And the spring training has not been, it hasn't smoothed that over with their play and now the injury to Sonny Gray. No, Carey, I don't even think you need the glasses on this one.
I just want to help you with something.
Oh, okay. Because, Carey, and that, of course, means that Carey has put on the glasses.
Well, you mentioned that you were having trouble, and you didn't want to remember what happened last year. Mm-hmm. There you go. It's done. Hit him with the flasher. What is it called? What do we call that?
He flashed me.
The flasher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're flashing, Anthony?
Carey flashed
The
me.
Men in Black flasher.
Yeah.
Oh, the neuralizer.
The neuralizer. He doesn't remember what happened now. He's okay. He's good to go.
I thought you were doing something else.
No, not that flashing.
Gotcha. Really, that only happens on the balloon party from time to time.
And next door.
Well, that's what I was
Josh
referring to.
Anderson. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Man,
Yeah.
that is a total coconut. Good guy. Yeah.
Great conversations.
Great
in the
conversations.
office.
Yeah, with Josh Ennis. Yep, of Casey, our
Really gets
sister
your
station.
brain going.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
what I was going to tell you there, Cardinals LLC, is last year was so embedded into my brain that that
Can't forget
pen
it.
probably won't work.
Okay.
No. I do think, guys, and there's a huge caveat to this, what I'm about to say. Huge caveat.
Oh, boy.
But I do think that the future beyond this season is pretty bright for the Cardinals. Here's the caveat. You got to hit on this young pitching. Can you imagine if they do hit on this young pitching? And I'm not, you know the young pitchers that are in the organization now. McGreevy, Tinkens, Graceffo,
Zach Thompson, is he?
Zach Thompson, I'd put in that
Liberatore
category. Sure, we can
Still
include
young?
him. He's 24, 25. Yeah, we can include
Okay.
him. Takeo, Roby, the other guys that they got last year in the trades. The young rotation, if these young guys hit, and I'm not talking about all of them being aces. I just mean, what if Zach Thompson's a solid number 3 for you moving forward? What if Tinkens is an ace and Sonny Gray's your number 2 mover? The future's actually pretty bright when you look at Nolan Arenado still under contract. Wilson Contreras still under contract. Your heavy hitters are still under contract. We'll see about Goldie, whether or not he gets a new deal beyond this year. If not, you can always move Jordan Walker to first. Oh, by the way, you got Jordan Walker. You have Mason Wynn. You have a couple of really strong complementary pieces. I'm not talking about glue guys, but complementary pieces. Guys that probably aren't stars, but guys that are solid. Tommy Edman, Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar. Your future's pretty bright. Again, ... if these young pitchers develop. Looking beyond this year, which is really a bridge year for your pitching staff, I don't know if the Cardinals are that far off from being interesting again. What do you guys think?
It depends on how these younger players progress. I think that's essentially what any sports team, when you draft players, like in the NFL, if you miss on a quarterback, you're going to be set back for 5 to 7 years. It's just part of the process. If you are unable to,
or decades like the Jets.
I mean, tomato, right? Yeah, nobody's counting. It's going to set you back.
They are.
They
The
are.
Jets
Right?
are.
Everyone else is counting. They tried. It didn't work.
No.
It's just it puts you in a place where the team is going to struggle if your younger players cannot catch up quick enough, and it's all about learning how to be a pro and become a pro and play the game at an elite level, which is why I felt like it was so important for Goldie and Arenado to have that leadership role for younger players like a Lars Nootbaar, for Jordan Walker, for all of these younger guys, for Nolan Gorman. You want to be able to have the superstars, the future Hall of Famers, still playing at an elite level and showing the younger players. It's what Albert Pujols did in his final year.
Yeah.
No one expected it, but it was outstanding. He played at an elite level the entire second half of the season, and that allowed the younger players that were there to witness it. Oh, shoot, let me go sit down next to him. Let me ask him what he's saying, because that's your role as an aging superstar, as a guy that has had so much success, is to make sure that the younger players behind you not only learn from watching you, but learn from actually talking to you.
Right.
And how you are, managing these emotions or these situations or this or that. That's part of being a good team and part of being great leaders. And so I hope that some of these younger players, and I honestly maybe hope that that's part of the reason that they did sign a Lance Lynn, a Kyle Gibson, a Sonny Gray, because in spring training, you will have some of those younger pitchers there. Hey, this is how you should go about this. Yeah, I got to get myself ready for the regular season, but at the same time, I can do two things at once. I can show you by my preparation, but I can also talk to you and talk you through certain things while you're preparing yourself.
Carey, I swear to God, you were going to go, this is how you do it. I thought you were going to go that route. Yeah.
How you do it. Oh.
Marsh, no, it was good. It sounded good. Marsh, you excited? Beyond this year? Ish?
Maybe. I don't know. There's not one guy, though. There's not one guy that really just smacks me right in the face. And I'm like, wow, that guy is going to be a stud. We've already seen Zach Thompson. We've seen Matthew Liberatore. Can they...
But you haven't seen them this year. You're
right. I have not seen them this year.
You're
right. But if Zach Thompson,
but if he becomes, like you said, a number 3,
if he's a 3, like he's solid.
You need a 1-2 punch.
Totally.
Otherwise, what do you have? You have a bunch of depth guys,
nothing,
which is fine. You can win a division, especially this division.
Marsh, you need one of these guys to be an ace.
They have to be.
I completely agree with you.
One of them has to be. Or at least a strong number 2 that you can pair with Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Normally, by year 3, you kind of got it figured out, or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your first year, you have no clue what the hell is going on. Like, you're just there. Like, you show up every day. You don't know what the hell's going on.
And sometimes you get by because you're that talented.
Yes. Or you're that dumb, and it just, it doesn't matter. Like, no offense. Like, you have no clue. Hey, like, being young is blissful at times because you don't know what the hell's happening.
Right.
Second year, you kind of, you start to figure it out. You know how to get to training camp and how to prepare for it. But by your third year, you should be pretty much a well-oiled machine in terms of how to go about your business. If you're still struggling in terms of with confidence or struggling in terms of the day-to-day grind or trying to put it all together, it may not happen. Because that third year is a really critical, crucial year for really in any sport. You should have it all, not all figured out, but about 75, 80% figured out at that point. Yeah. And if you're still struggling with your confidence, that is a telltale sign for me that it may not ever click for you because by that time, teams are trying to decide, do we keep this guy around or do we need to move him elsewhere? Do we need to move him to the bullpen? Is it too much on him at this moment? Because we've given him 3 seasons to try to figure it out. So it's going to be a critical year for Matthew Liberatore, for Zach Thompson. This is an important time for them in their own careers, not just for the St. Louis Cardinals.
That's Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. It's a fast line on 101 at ESPN. We're going to play Are You Sold? So if you get an Are You Sold comment, leave it for us. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, Are You Sold? Next. Time to play Are You Sold here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Take it away, Marsh.
All right, let's start with the 314. Are you sold that Ollie is the right fit for the Cardinals baseball team?
No, I think this is a big year. I think this is a big year for Ollie. He had one excellent year. He had one horrible year. We're about to find out. You can't blame everybody. You can't just blame the players. You can't just blame the situation. We could talk about the roster. I don't think the roster is good enough to win a World Series. I don't think it's good enough to win a pennant. Is it good enough to win a weak NL Central? Yeah. And how he manages the clubhouse, that's really the most important aspect of his job.
I think it's important for, obviously, it is a win or go home type of situation for Ollie Marmol. We all understand that.
Doesn't have a contract.
No contract after this season, and they're probably going to wait to see how this season goes. So, I mean, like you said, he had one good winning season, and then you had a terrible year. So we will, I guess how the Cardinals finish will be the answer to that, if he's the right fit or not. I think he can be. I think he is I think there's a perception of Ollie that he's weak or feeble or timid.
He's not.
And I don't get that thought of him at all. I think he's a leader of men, and I wish, as Lisa texted, I wish he would have stood up for Wilson Contreras last year. I wish he would have been the person to stand in front of that. But, all in all, I think if that were to happen again this year, or a situation were to arise like that, I think you would get a different response from him and most of the players on the team.
Maybe Ollie didn't think Wilson Contreras is doing a good job. Maybe he didn't think that Wilson Contreras was putting in the necessary work. I'm just throwing it out there.
It wasn't all. I mean,
it certainly was not all Wilson Contreras. No.
I've never caught in major leagues a day in my life, but I do know.
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me rephrase that. Not yet. Because I've been working on some things.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen it.
But I do know that the pitcher has the ball, and the pitcher throws the ball.
Yep.
And it's the pitcher's job to locate said ball.
That's correct.
And if the pitcher does not locate the ball, that's on the pitcher.
Well, that's not what they said, though.
Well, they don't. What the hell do they know, Marsh?
Well, they're Major League Baseball
That
players.
doesn't make them right.
They know the art of pitching.
Clearly, and we don't.
We
That's
don't.
true. We don't.
We learned it though.
We sit in
thanks
the
to
corner.
Jack Flaherty.
Oh yeah. Did we? Should we have been paying attention to that?
You don't know the art of pitching. All right.
Okay, Jack. Good luck in Baltimore, and then Detroit, because Baltimore was like, yeah, we blanked up.
At least he could hear his pitch comm, though.
Yeah.
Or couldn't hear it.
No, he couldn't hear it.
That's right. That's right. He couldn't hear it.
Is that what the problem was? Is that why the
when he first got to Baltimore, he said, yeah, it's nice, being in a place where, God, I couldn't hear my pitch comm. Oh, yeah? Well, if you and your previous teammates played better, you couldn't hear your pitch comm here either. Just saying.
All right, on to the next one.
Detroit's a great fan base. They're not going to show up for a loser, though, so you might have that same issue next year there, Jack. Go ahead, Marsh. Sorry.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, Anthony. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would agree with you. From the 636, are you sold that Ryan Helsley is a top 10 closer? That one comes from Jim T.
Yeah, I think when healthy's a top 10 closer. Yeah. Yes.
He's got a top 10 entrance.
You've talked about that entrance.
I love it.
I feel that's your way of backing out of talking about Ryan Helsley.
Hey, you listen. Hey, for my taste, I want guys that are
good music.
that are going to show up and show out every opportunity that is presented to them.
Yep.
And if he does that, then yeah, he is a really good pitcher.
Didn't Trevor Hoffman come out to Hell's Bells? Or is that somebody else?
Hoff, I don't know what Hoff came out to. Trevor
I think there was another closer that came out to Hell's Bells.
Hell's Bells. Let's see here. Yeah, he did. You're right. Trevor Hoffman came out to Hell's Bells.
So there's I'm sorry, Carey. There's a little bit of me that wishes that he would have just picked a new song.
No, it's Helsley, Hell's
get
Bells. The stadium lights up red. Come on.
What about we're on a highway to hell.
Nah, that would be nice. That might be nice too.
I get it.
Yeah, somebody else. I'm with you, Marsh. It's somebody else's jam.
It is.
It's his now.
It's Trevor Hoffman's jam.
It's kind of like anybody coming out to like enter Sandman after Mariano
we know
Rivera.
who that belongs to. We don't want to do that. You shouldn't ever do that.
act like Trevor Hoffman wasn't a good closer.
Right? No, he was.
one
He
of the
absolutely
best.
was. Yeah. So I'm with you, Marsh. Get your own damn song. I did go down. I don't know if it was on YouTube or maybe Instagram or something like that. And I was flipping through the videos, and Diaz's entrance came on. His song.
Edwin Perez.
Edwin Perez. Yeah, with the trumpets.
Yeah, Timmy Trumpets.
That's
That is
awesome.
pretty
That is a great song. That is a great one. From the 314, are you sold that Russell Wilson? I mean, the answer is no. Russell Wilson will lead another team to a championship game.
No.
Championship game?
What championship?
The AFC championship?
The UFL championship?
Oh, come on.
He would be great in the UFL.
No.
Why?
Why would he do that?
Because he's not a starter anymore in the NFL,
He's
and
gonna-
everybody's tired of his shtick.
So you think he's going to play in the UFL and do like A.J. McCarron and then sign
Why
on as
not?
a free agent
Yeah, why not?
somewhere during the regular season?
No, I mean, I think he'll probably be a backup somewhere in the NFL next year, but if you're a team, you also are going to have to put up with the crap with him.
Maybe he learned his lesson.
He
Right?
didn't learn any
Got
lesson.
39 million reasons
Come
not to
on.
learn it, but maybe he did.
Yeah. But that's
Possibly.
just who he is. If you watch like what was it, Subway?
I don't think he's a bad person, man.
I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm saying he's a total goofball.
He might be goofy.
Right.
He might be weird. Can you win us a game?
No. So why would I put up with the goofiness?
This is not on Russell because that team wasn't
What?
very good there in Denver.
They were okay 2 years ago when he stunk up the place.
The defense was good 2 years ago.
It
Jerry
certainly
Jeudy
was.
having issues catching passes, and I don't know if you know this, he's a receiver. It's kind of part of the job description.
Did you not have anybody else to throw to out there? Come
Cortland
on.
Sutton got hurt, didn't he?
Cortland Sutton put on a show last year.
The year before when they were terrible.
They were terrible because they had
Javonte
terrible
Williams
quarterback
got
play.
hurt. They had so many injuries.
Russ stinks.
Like, come on.
You know what? He looked good in the Pittsburgh
I hope
Steelers
to
uniform.
goodness he's a Atlanta Falcon.
Thank you.
I cannot wait.
I just rest my
Believe a
case.
thing he's saying
I
right
just
now.
rest my
I hope
case.
he's an Atlanta Falcon and you all win
you
the
had the
NFC
opportunity.
the NFC South.
You had the opportunity, Carey, to say, you know what? I believe in what I'm saying.
I'm saying
I
the
hope
same
he's a
thing.
Pittsburgh Steeler.
No.
Instead, you try to put that evil on me,
We got Kenny Pickett.
which is kind of out of my playbook. I kind of respect it.
He goes, I think he's good enough, but I don't want him on my team.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's exactly what
He's
Carey's
good
saying.
enough. He's not going to win the AFC, Anthony. The NFC is wide open.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going? AFC got too many good quarterbacks.
Makes
Come
a
on.
valid point.
NFC is the side you want to be on, clearly.
Which is why we'll get Kirk Cousins.
And Marshy will be heartbroken.
I will. I actually have a bunch of Kirk Cousins
I don't want to see you on
Stuff.
Sundays without having Kirk Cousins in your life.
You haven't seen me without, yeah.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see you in here Monday morning without having Kirk Cousins on your roster.
I appreciate that because, I mean, before I knew you, I had Sam Bradford as my quarterback for multiple teams, actually. Multiple of my favorite teams.
That's a hard
Case
life.
Keenum for
Case-
multiple teams.
Case Keenum had a really good year
Hey,
in
really
2017.
it was a really good year.
It was. I thought the Vikings were going to beat the Eagles that year in the NFC Championship game. I was
we all
convinced
did.
of it.
I was too, especially after the miracle, the
Yeah.
Minneapolis Miracle. I
Yep.
thought this team, there's no way they can lose.
The Stephen Diggs catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got spanked.
Yes, they did.
They got spanked. Last one here from the 314. Are you sold that Mizzou should move on from Dennis Gates?
No.
It's 1 year.
And there's reasons for why this has been. I mean, it has been a down year. But I think last year he had more guys that fit the style that he wanted to play. The transfer they lost. Obviously, they lost a couple of key players. The guys that he brought in this time around don't seem to fit the system as well. It's been a terrible season, but no, everything we said about Dennis Gates a year ago still is applicable.
They are terrible, though.
They are very bad.
8-23.
Hey, you don't have to tell
Just
me.
lost by. Did you pick them?
I picked Auburn.
Oh, you did pick Auburn.
And you're trying to give me crap. I go, Mizzou fans, no.
They are. It's 101-74
Yeah.
at home.
Yep.
It's not great, Mizzou fans.
No.
I ain't hear anything about them all season. You know, we had to hear all about the football team. I haven't heard anything about the basketball
Well,
team.
there's a reason why.
The football team was good.
We can't
know
talk
that.
about 3 bad teams.
Do you want to talk about Illinois' football team or their basketball team, Carey?
Well, we lost last
Yeah,
night.
maybe we want to talk about. And they were up at halftime, too.
Come on.
All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We do have Prove Me Wrong coming up at 3:45, so keep those texts coming in if you want to play Prove Me Wrong with us. Just make a statement that you want Carey and I to prove wrong, and we'll do that at 3:45. We got a text message yesterday about the Cardinals and Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery that was kind of criticizing not only our show, but every show on 101 ESPN. But I thought that text message kind of lost the bigger picture. I'll explain why next on 101 ESPN. The best remodeling company, the right remodeling company, is my friends at Mosby Building Arts. I had an opportunity to see their operations about a month ago, and I was blown away by Mosby. They've got everybody in-house electricians, in-house architects, in-house project managers. So when they come out to your house, because you want to redo your kitchen or redo your bathroom or redo anything, really, no project is too big or too small for Mosby Building Arts. When they come out, they know that they're going to take the right measurements. Everything material-wise is going to be perfect for what you're looking for your remodel, and they're going to do it right the first time so that you don't have any delays and you don't have any issues. A homeowner, in fact, called Mosby recently. They had purchased a house that the previous owners had tried to do a bunch of do-it-yourself projects the year before. They had made updates and were just good enough to sell, and then within the first year of being in the house, numerous issues came to light, especially in one particular bathroom. There was a plumbing leak. The toilet ring was not installed correctly. They found out the exhaust fan didn't vent anymore. They had to tear out a wall, realized the previous homeowner had gotten no inspections, just to name a few issues. Well, they called Mosby for help to start the entire bathroom over from scratch, and Mosby not only delivered for them, but they'll only go with Mosby for any remodeling project from here on out. So give them a call at 314-909-1800 or visit them at callmosby.com. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lost last night to the New York Islanders by a final score of 4-2. They went up 2-0 in the second period, and the Islanders scored 4 unanswered goals. The Blues will take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at 4:30. So stay tuned for that. Once again, Blues, Devils tomorrow, 5 o'clock pregame, 6 o'clock puck drop right here on 101 ESPN. We'll have Prove Me Wrong at 3:45, so make sure you send in those Prove Me Wrong statements to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. But we're going to dive into a text message that we got yesterday. We'll talk about that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So as Marsh just mentioned, we got a text message yesterday, and I'll paraphrase it, but it was something to the effect of, 7 straight hours here on 101 ESPN. You guys all just started complaining about the fact that the Cardinals did not sign 2 pitchers, Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell, that no other team wanted. Let's just stop there for a second. You may want a car, but not at that price. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You may want something. You may want a house, but not at that price. It doesn't mean you don't want the car, you don't want the house, or whatever object it is. To say that no team wants Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell just isn't, that's not the case.
Not accurate.
That's not accurate. It's not realistic. But they don't want those pitchers at the price that those pitchers are commanding. Let's move on from that, though. It's not about Sonny Gray being hurt and the Cardinals looking at Montgomery or Blake Snell. To me, Carey, it's not even about Snell. Or I'm sorry, it's not even about Sonny Gray. It's about the fact that you're inching closer to the regular season and those guys are still available. Simply checking in on what the current asking price is should be something that Mo and every team is doing.
I agree.
What's the current price? What would they take this? Because you can't tell me those 2 pitchers aren't good. You can't tell me that those 2 pitchers don't make you better. We can talk about at the start of the offseason whether or not they're going to be worth, 5 years and $250 million or whatever ridiculous sticker price number that, those guys are probably asking for at the start of the offseason. That's different. The variables have changed. And now the variable is we're getting closer to the regular season. You've got one guy that's hurt. You got an old-ass rotation. What's the harm of calling those guys?
Why is it bad when I say it? I said they were 39. You said old-ass rotation. Because they're not 39?
Yeah, because they're not 39.
Okay, sorry. All right,
Yeah.
you're right.
I'm an old ass. 41, be 42 at the end of the month.
I agree.
It's a great month for a birthday.
It certainly
It's a
is,
great
though.
month.
Yeah.
March,
Are you going to be 30 yet, Marsh?
No,
Am I going to be?
he's gonna
No,
be
I'm going to be 28.
27.
28.
Wow, he's got years.
It's a beautiful thing. Hey, enjoy this time, brother.
It's my Colby Rasmus year.
Sometimes I forget how young you are. Sometimes I forget, like you and I are.
When we
Like
talk
my
about the
beard
90s,
is almost
you
as
don't-
thick
you
as
don't think-
Carey's.
Yeah.
When we talk about the 90s, it doesn't grasp you that he has no clue what the hell we're talking about.
I mean, sometimes he's
Like 90s.
Yeah.
Like, he just brings something up. I'm like, I don't know what that is until I see it or I hear it, and then I'm like, oh, I do know what that is.
There are moments, and we will get back on discussions here, but there are moments, Carey, I'm sure you'll feel this too, where something, an event, something music related, movie related, sports related, that is so vivid in my mind.
Yeah.
And Marsh will be like, I don't remember that.
He has no clue.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
I wasn't born.
Yeah, that's usually what the problem is. He wasn't on Earth yet.
You don't remember when Steve Young carved up the Chargers in
No,
the Super Bowl?
Not at all. It might have. What year were you born?
96.
He was just barely. Probably didn't have a memory of it though.
No, that was 94.
Yeah, I wasn't even born.
Yeah, it wasn't even born.
Wasn't even a thought.
Oh, you were born in 96.
Born in 96.
Oh, yeah, no, you
It was
weren't
94.
alive yet.
This is a terrible game to play, but what's the first Super Bowl you remember watching?
First Super Bowl?
Yep. Not the first Super Bowl you were alive for, but the first Super Bowl you remember watching.
The Rams-Titans Super Bowl.
Oh, man,
I remember exactly where I was.
I was in high school.
I would have been 3 years old.
Oh, man.
Wow. Yeah.
I watched it at my cousin's. I remember that.
3 years old.
That's
3 years old.
something, man.
It is something.
It's a kick in the old teeth.
Yeah.
Like, thank goodness for, like, those old TV shows, like the Game Show Network. Thank God that those things exist. Boomerang for old cartoons. Otherwise, I would have no idea what you guys are talking about.
You would just be sitting here like yeah, I don't know.
Nick at Night.
Nick at Night.
Man, you ever wake up and George Lopez is jumping on that trampoline?
No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
George Lopez?
Yeah, yeah. George Lopez show. Never seen that?
The Nick at Night that I remember was they used to have like what was it? Well, I mean, it wasn't Nick at Night, but like Double Dare. I'm thinking Nickelodeon, like Double Dare.
Double Dare was awesome.
What was the one with the it kind of had like a Raiders of the Lost.
Raiders of the
Oh, you're talking about
Temple.
no.
Temple,
Oh,
not Temple.
What
Raiders
was it?
of
You know what I'm
the-
talking about? It kind of has that feel.
Yeah.
they had like
that
Medusa
show.
was a
Yes.
part of it. It was.
Wow, somebody will text in. Come on.
I'm not even gonna look because I'm one of those people that
Raiders
like.
of the not Tomb.
It wasn't Raiders. I don't think it was even Raiders. I'm just saying
No,
they
not
had,
Tomb-
it had
not
that
Tomb
feel.
Raider.
Not Tomb Raiders. I don't know.
Let's not look it up because it's gonna bother you know what out of me.
There was
It's gonna come to me though.
this is really old, but Carey, do you remember the Nickelodeon? It was a weird show, but do you remember the show where they used to? You can't do that on television.
Legends
Yes.
of the Hidden Temple.
That's it.
Yes, that was it.
You didn't look it up. That's
Yes,
it.
I didn't look
you
it
did.
up.
You were just staring. You were just staring,
staring
at
at
the wall.
you, yeah.
You were staring at the Air Alliance team.
Willed that.
Yes,
to
that was
his brain.
impressive. Good for you. That's what it was.
That was a great TV show.
Oh my goodness!
But do you remember the show?
You can't do that on
you can't do
television?
that
I
on
do remember
television.
that, yeah.
It was like an SNL, but they had like kids.
Yeah.
And so it was different skits and sketches and stuff. It was weird, but I remember watching that too. Anyways,
What are we
We got a
talking
text
about?
message.
Oh, the text message.
yeah, the text message. So to me, it's not just you guys are complaining because they didn't sign these two guys because Sonny Gray got hurt. No, that's a fallacy, right? Like that's to me, it's a straw man argument. You're missing kind of the bigger picture to argue something else.
Here's the thing about that. You need more pitchers. You got a pitcher that is hurt. Those guys, and the important thing is those guys are available.
Correct.
If they weren't available, we wouldn't be complaining about it. You wouldn't be
Right.
saying these guys are available. You know, going into the offseason, those were Shohei. Probably you scratch him off the list because he's a candidate of his own, and he's not even pitching this year. But you knew that those two guys were going to be two of the hottest commodities
Right.
for the offseason, and
still
they are
around.
still there.
Right.
And to not kick the tires or at least question, hey, what number gone down a little bit? No, cool. And to we don't know. Maybe they have, but it doesn't feel like a Cardinal thing to do at this
Right.
point because how easy would it be? How easy would it be to say, yeah, we did check in, and the number is still a number we're not comfortable with?
Right.
We're done.
Here's why I don't think they have, because I think they operate as if, well, where are we going to put them? We've already
Where
got.
are you gonna put them?
We've got 5 guys.
We have 6 starters.
We've got we've got an abundance of it. We're bullish on ours. That's why they haven't checked in. All right, we're gonna play Prove Me Wrong next. If you got a Prove Me Wrong statement for Carey and I, 314-399-9646. We will enter the Honorable Judge Andrew Marsh's courtroom next on 101 ESPN.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
Time for Prove Me Wrong here in the Fast Lane. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. We will be the lawyers, essentially, for this exercise. Andrew Marsh is the judge, jury, and executioner. And you are presenting the case, you the listener. So 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you got to prove me wrong, you still time to potentially get one in. So, Marsh, what is our first case?
From the 636, prove me wrong. The Blues can go into full rebuild mode because the fan base is excited about the Blues youngsters and would rather watch them play than the team that is on the ice currently.
Well, here's why you're wrong. I don't know if you watched this Blues team this year, right? Probably, you say, going to make the playoffs or no?
No.
Did they make the playoffs last year?
No, sir.
By the way that things are going, you think they're going to make it next year?
No.
So that would be 3 years if my math is correct. This organization cannot afford to rebuild and start from scratch, from the bottom, from the bare knuckles, from the beginning to build it back up. You know what people loved, Anthony, Marshy?
2019.
2019! Yeah. You got Holy. You got all these people parading through the city. What are they doing? Having a great time. Why? Why did they have a great time?
Well, they hoisted the cup.
You hoisted the cup. Randy Carragher got a freaking tattoo about it.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
There is no way that this fan base can handle or stomach a rebuild. That's not what we do. It's not the expectation. Hell, Anthony said they were going to win it this year. And now people are pissed off at him. You think they're going to be able to stomach another season of this? No, it's not happening.
Oh, man. There's a little part of me that just completely disagrees with you, but I love your energy.
Thank you.
And you brought up the tattoo, and you made a great point, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job, Carey.
I appreciate it.
You got us a dub.
Here we go. This one's interesting. From the 314, prove me wrong. Sonny Gray is not that far off from Chris Carpenter for his career. Sonny has a 3.47 ERA and a WAR of 30, whereas Carpenter had an ERA of 3.76 and a WAR of 34.2. So prove this texter wrong. Sonny Gray is not that far off from Chris Carpenter.
If I may, Carey.
You have it, sir.
Actually, I'm going to need you for this. How many World Series rings does Sonny Gray have?
I think 0.
Yeah.
I didn't have any.
How many does Chris Carpenter have?
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One's a champ and the
Or
other
2.
one. This is 2?
Yeah,
Hey,
2.
I apologize.
He was 06.
Hey,
06 and 11.
shorter than 1.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
he didn't play without a rib.
Yeah, and he would have removed more if
he had to.
If he had to.
Yes.
Yeah, so
It's kind of guy I want.
these two are not in the same sentence.
Okay.
I rest my case.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Thank you.
Also, I saw MLB.com, a top 10 aces list in Major League Baseball. Sonny Gray was not on that list. Hopefully he can get there. But Pablo Lopez was on that list, and Pablo Lopez was on the same team as Sonny Gray last year.
Yes, he was. These are facts.
So what does that mean?
It means that the Cardinals got a really good starting pitcher in Sonny Gray. Not to the level of Chris Carpenter, though.
Unfortunately. But one day, maybe. Or maybe not. I'm sorry.
Here we go. This one's from Rachel T. Prove me wrong. Caleb Williams will be a bust.
Listen. Have we not watched college football? This young man is everything that they say he is. People complained about him crying after a game. You know what champions do? They want to win. They want to win so much that it pains them when they have to face defeat. Give me that guy on my roster. The Chicago Bears, the greatest quarterback in terms of passing yards is Jay Cutler. Would he be on your top 10 of quarterbacks ever?
No, sir, he would not.
Not ever. No offense to Jay Cutler.
Maybe at Vanderbilt, but other than that, no.
Not in the state of Chicago, in the state of Illinois, in the city of Chicago, yeah. And so therefore, Caleb Williams, Justin Fields has done a great job. He's done all that. He's at the end of his rope. They've had enough, and they want to move on. And here you have a young man who does everything the right way in terms of playing the game as a quarterback, understands the ins and outs, ball placement. Find someone better in this upcoming draft. You won't. You can look. You know what he didn't do at the combine? He didn't throw. You know why? You've seen me throw already. He said it. I got 30 games plus worth of film. The hell you need to see me throwing shorts and T-shirts for? You know I can do it. You know why? Because I do it with defensive linemen hitting me in the face. You know what ain't going to happen at the combine? Defensive linemen not going to be hitting me in my face. Linebackers aren't going to be blitzing. There's nothing here that you need to see that you ain't already seen from me. He will be a superstar in the NFL. Book it. Book it. I thought I did a good job.
Yeah, you did.
You did. Yeah, you presented a good case. Yeah.
You did a great job.
Yep.
You just can't play on the Bears and be a good quarterback.
Oh,
You know, that actually is a
You know what?
if you would have thrown in, he got,
Maybe
the
he
Bears
slips.
pass on
Yeah.
him or something. Yeah.
You just,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
all
make
right.
the rules.
I thought I did a great job.
Well, it's kind of like you didn't talk about one key piece of evidence, and the judge
left it
just
out.
couldn't get past. Yeah, you
I
did.
left it out.
Yeah, but the judge caught on. To
Right.
it. That's the
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The jury.
yeah.
The jury went. They what's it called when they get together?
Reconvene.
Yeah.
They came together and
Yeah, they talked about the case. They're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what about this?
Yeah.
What about this
Chicago.
murder?
Yeah.
What about this murder weapon?
12 angry men.
Don't
you
worry
didn't
about
mention it.
that. Don't worry about that.
The gloves don't fit. Must have quit.
You were fighting a losing battle there.
Man.
From the 636, prove me wrong. The Cardinals are about $20 million under the luxury cap. The problem is not that the DeWitts won't spend money. It's that Mo doesn't want it or does not spend it properly.
Boy, oh boy, I took on a case that I agree with. Yeah, no.
What? I didn't even fight it.
Judge, my client did it. He murdered those people in cold blood. So, there's that.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
I can't even think of a... Steve's right. I can't even think of a counter. He's right. They do spend. He just doesn't spend in the right way. It's about spending on the right players, not about spending. I've made that same point. Sorry, Carey.
All right.
From the 636, prove me wrong. The Kelsey family is as popular now as the Kardashians.
Listen, the New Heights podcast is awesome, right? It's wonderful.
We all enjoy it.
They got makeup. They got a TV. They are, correct me if I'm wrong, billionaires or close as you can get to it.
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them.
I mean, they can combine.
And there are more, obviously, Kardashians than there are Kelseys right now. So I think if you put Jason Kelsey and walked him down a mall in the hallways, and walked him down the aisle of a mall, he wouldn't stop him.
The two people would not stop him. The two people at that
that are
mall
at
would
the mall
not stop him.
But
Yeah.
if you put Kylie Jenner, who's Kardashian, and walked her down the mall,
You couldn't.
you wouldn't be able to. People would start going to the malls again. That's how much people love the
Kardashians would literally save the
They
mall.
would save America
Yeah.
walking down the mall. Any mall, pick one.
Never, ever did I think I'd ever hear that the Kardashians would save America.
Yep. Well, save American malls.
Save American malls.
American
It's about
malls.
as far as Davis and Stalter and the law firm
take it
is
that
going to
far.
go today.
I can't go much further than that.
Pump out product that you can buy online.
There you go.
You know what? I'll give it to you.
Nice. Well done. All right, we've got the Gauntlet coming up next. Marsh, do we need a contestant? We're good.
Nope. We have Josh who will be joining us
All right.
today.
Josh is going to take on either Marsh, Carey, or me next in the Gauntlet. AutoCentersNissan.com. Start there. Look at all the vehicles that they have because they have over 700 vehicles on their lot. One location out in Herculaneum. So you're going to want to start at AutoCentersNissan.com. That you can see the different makes and models that they have. It's not just new Nissans. They've got great deals on pre-owned vehicles of different makes and models. But you're going to want to start online, peruse the selection, and then head out to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum because then you could test drive the vehicles. This is all something my wife and I did, and we did it a couple of times just making sure that we found the right vehicle. We love the Nissan Pathfinder pre-owned vehicle that we got from Auto Centers Nissan, but they've got new Nissan Altimas up to $4,000 off MSRP. You can finance for only $499 down and then $499 a month for 84 months. Not a lease on that, so you can own the car when it's all said and done, and that offer is good throughout the month of March. They've got great deals on new Nissans and pre-owned vehicles, 30-day new car return promise, complimentary lifetime warranty, complimentary one-year maintenance as well. It's all courtesy of Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum.
Four warriors, four categories, one challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit Mastor.com.
All right, time for the Gauntlet in the fast lane, where it's 4:03. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Josh. What's up, Josh?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good, great to have you, man. We're doing great. Would you like to take on today? By the way, is this your first time?
This is my first time.
We've got we got a first timer here. Congrats, Josh. Welcome into the show.
Thank you.
Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, or me for your first time?
I think I'm going to go CD today.
All right.
Oh, Carey Davis.
Good luck, Josh.
There we go. CD.
Thanks, Carey. You too.
Feeling a lot better today. Yeah. Sounds a lot better. He's going into the cone of silence. We'll see what CD has in store for Josh today. Josh, tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
What are you hoping for, Josh?
Anything but random, honestly.
Anything but random. Uh-oh. Marshy, give me a look. Is it random? It is random.
All right.
So sometimes the wheel listens, and sometimes the wheel wants you to be miserable.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, yep. You never know, though. Don't know what sort of attitude the wheel has, but clearly it's a ticked off attitude today. So
look at this question.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So random trivia today for Josh and for CD. Each question is worth 2 points, Josh. If you ask for the options, those questions are only worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 1. Can you name the nocturnal bird of North America whose vigorous, deliberate call can be repeated 400 times without stopping? Hint, it has mottled, brownish plumage. I don't know if that's a hint.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the options.
All right. Is it a tanager, a whippoorwill, or a mockingjay? A tanager, a whippoorwill, or a mockingjay?
Let's go whippoorwill. The final answer.
All right.
Question number 2. What is the symbol for the chemical element arsenic? We need 2 letters.
I want to say AS. But yeah, AS, final answer.
That is the only element that I could probably name.
That's not a good thing. You know what?
Besides H2O.
That's, I don't... Never
That's
mind.
fine. All right, question
I
3.
think that's a group of elements.
All right, Josh. The most successful program in Division I women's college volleyball history with 9 national championships is...
Options.
All right. UCLA, Stanford, or Penn State?
Go Stanford, final answer.
Question number 4. In Romeo and Juliet, who is Romeo's best friend?
Oh, man. Freshman year of high school, come on. Man, I'll take the options.
Options are Mercutio, Benito, or Tybalt. Or Tybalt. One of the two. There's even a pronunciation, and I still...
Mercutio, Tybalt, and
Benito.
Be the bad guy. I'm going to go Mercutio, final answer.
All right.
All right, we'll bring back Carey. How you feeling, Josh?
Not great.
You never know. Would have done okay on this.
You think so? Oh, yeah, you did know.
Yep. Carey's got Carey got his headphones on right now, so we don't want to give away any sort of clues here.
All right.
Okay, so Carey.
Yeah.
The Wheel of Death chose random today.
You know what? Something in me said it was random. I don't know why.
No.
Just kind of felt like the time it took. That felt like a random question type of time frame.
Okay.
All righty.
Well, Marsh, go ahead.
Get football, huh?
Tell him.
Yeah, you pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch. Okay.
Pack a lunch. Maybe 2.
Question number 1, Carey. This is a doozy. Can you name the nocturnal bird of North America whose vigorous, deliberate call can be repeated 400 times without stopping? Don't worry, there is a hint. It has mottled, brownish plumage.
What the heck? What? The nocturnal bird.
Yeah. Nocturnal bird of North America, vigorous, deliberate call, can be repeated 400 times
Only
without stopping.
nocturnal bird I can think of. Owl. Final answer.
All right.
They even use the options.
You don't need those options.
It's on there.
Question number 2. What is the symbol for the chemical element arsenic? We need 2 letters.
AR would be too easy. Arsenic? I should have paid attention to the periodic table.
I'm sure you did at some point.
Is that even what it's called? Periodic table?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, give me the options, please.
Options are AN, AR, or AS.
I should have just went with AR. That's what I'm going to go with anyways. AR, final answer.
All right, Carey, the most successful program in Division I women's college volleyball history with 9 national championships is...
Oh, I feel like I know this, but I don't. Give me the options.
All right.
Let's see if it's on there.
UCLA, Stanford, or Penn State?
Penn State, God dog it. Final answer.
Penn State.
Yeah.
Question number 4.
You got choked up.
I mean,
this
this
is scary.
next question, it makes you
worried.
feel a certain type of way. I know it made me feel a certain type of way when I watched the movie. In Romeo and Juliet, didn't read the book, who is Romeo's best friend?
Does it start with a... Okay, give me the answer. These are the options.
The
you can
options,
give me the answer if you want. But
I'll give you the options.
Okay.
Options are Mercutio, Benito, or Tybalt.
Let's go Mercutio. Final answer.
All right.
All right, let's go over these guys. Random Gauntlet, Josh versus Carey Davis. Let's start off with that last question. In Romeo and Juliet, who is Romeo's best friend? Josh, you went with Mercutio. Carey, you had the same exact answer. Both of you used the options. Correct answer is...
It is Mercutio.
Nice job, guys. 1-1 tie between
Nice job, Carey.
Josh and Carey. The most successful program in Division I women's college volleyball history with 9 national championships is... Josh, you took the options. You went Stanford. Carey, you also took the options, and you said, oh, God dang it, Penn State. Final answer. Very confident. Correct answer is...
Yeah, it's Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford is the correct answer. Yep. Stanford.
There we go.
I knew it. The way you said it, I was wrong. All right.
So, Josh has got a 2-1 lead. What is the symbol for the chemical element arsenic? Needed 2 letters. Carey, you said AR, then took the options and then went with AR, which was an option. Josh, you said AS without the options. Ooh. Correct answer is...
Anthony Stalter. It's AS.
That's the only reason why I knew that. We had to do a class project one time on the periodic table. I chose AS for obvious reasons, and I knew that would be arsenic.
It's not good.
Yeah, arsenic's it's a nasty little element.
Yeah, it is.
So Josh now up 4-1 on Carey with 1 question left.
Kind of got the writing on the wall here. Huh?
Yeah, I couldn't massage it in the way I'd like to with the questions here. Can you name the nocturnal bird of North America whose vigorous, deliberate call can be repeated 400 times without stopping? Here's your hint. It has mottled brownish plumage.
That didn't help at all.
No, Carey, you didn't even take the options. You said the only nocturnal bird I know is the owl, the librarian of the woodland creatures. So you went owl. Josh, you went with the whippoorwill. The whippoorwill.
Was owl an option?
Nope. Correct answer is... It is the whippoorwill. Josh.
Oh, man.
Chosen wisely.
Good job, Josh.
Josh, you did not want random. You did not feel good. You scored 5. You got every question right.
Hey, I'll take it.
Nice job, Josh. So 5-1 victory over Carey today. Congrats, man. You'll be back tomorrow to take on either Marsh or me.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Nice.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, nice job.
Good job,
Way to go, Josh.
All right. Have a good one.
See
You too.
You couldn't even figure. You couldn't make it close.
I couldn't make it close. I looked at
Like
it. I'm like,
4-1. I don't have a chance.
nope.
Yeah, 3-point shot here.
No 3-point shots in the old fast lane here. Not in the gauntlet.
I was confident on Penn State.
You were. Yeah.
Shouldn't have been.
Yeah, you were. That's
Once
okay.
I heard it on there, I was like, oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You talked yourself right into it.
Do you guys ever watch the Romeo and Juliet film with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yes.
I'm old enough to know that one.
There you go.
Yeah, that is old too. That's
Watched
going
it
back
in,
in the
high
90s.
school.
Yeah, we did too. That's kind of. I guess you study Romeo and Juliet in school. So
You didn't read it, though. Just watch the movie.
well, I think you
kinda
have
cheating.
I think you have to read it and then they watch the movie. I think that's how we did
He
it.
didn't read
I
it.
think we just watched it. Actually, you know what? We might have read it.
I think you read
we
it.
probably,
You had to
yeah,
have
it
read
sounds
it.
like, you don't go to school to just watch movies.
No.
Although that would be cool. I did that a few times, though, in some social studies classes in high school, and I really appreciate that teacher.
Absolutely.
Nothing better
Who's
than
no
when
longer
the teacher,
working.
No, he is. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Teacher used to roll out that TV. Oh, yeah. This is a day
There
here.
we go. Oh, your parent didn't sign the slip? Sorry, you can't watch it.
You're to have to go out in the hallway. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is there another pitcher that the Cardinals can get without breaking the bank? Or should they just roll with the internal options? Oh, Carey's got a thought. Oh, it's not a thought I like. That's next on 101 ESPN.
We should definitely have a podcast of commercial breaks and put them all together. Just, I don't know. That was an interesting.
The funniest thing,
Gary wasn't part of that at all, but Gary just sat there and listened.
So, for the listeners that don't know, Anthony's been watching the Marvel movies.
Yeah, in order.
In order, in timeline order.
I've seen some of them.
Yes.
But Disney Plus has them in chronological order. So, like, Captain America would be the first. I don't know what the first Marvel movie that was made came out. Like, I don't know when that came out.
Iron Man in 2008.
Okay,
I believe.
so Iron Man is like the third movie in the timeline because they're doing it chronologically. So yeah, I started watching these. So now Marsh, who is
you're pretty far. Like
I've been rolling along.
I've been watching like one a night basically. But Marsh, who has seen all these movies, is now getting my commentary. And there's one.
That's great.
We can't even reveal what I just said because it's kind of a spoiler to some people.
I mean, the movie came out like a decade ago.
It's been out for a while.
There might be somebody like me that's excited.
Might be okay.
Maybe I've inspired some people, and they're only on the first Iron Man.
I'm going to start it whenever I
see Carey.
I'm going to get going.
We just spoiled this for Carey.
But your favorite character is Winter Soldier.
Your least favorite is. Can you say Ant-Man was your least favorite?
No, he's not my least. It's fine.
You said that yesterday.
Yeah, I wasn't looking
Since
forward.
This is an ongoing conversation every single day. We learn more.
I mean, Anthony's watching these movies at a high rate right now.
I don't know if I watched two last night.
Yeah, I said Ant-Man. Yeah, the villain in Ant-Man is the weakest.
Villain in Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
The Yellow Jacket.
But Winter Soldier, because I didn't know anything about. Like I didn't read these comics,
right.
I knew about Thor, I knew about Iron Man. But Winter Soldier comes out there with that badass arm, he's shooting everybody. I'm like, this is my guy.
Sign him up.
Interesting backstory to him too.
Not a good dude. Well, don't worry, things get better.
His mind was being controlled. Okay, he's a good person at heart.
Yeah,
his mind. When you have your mind controlled, you do some things.
Yeah. You cut off one head to grow back.
Exactly. Anyways, what are we talking about? Cardinals?
Anthony's a Hydra agent.
I'm not. Don't be saying that. In any version.
A fictional group.
Still. They've got ties. I don't want to be associated with them. Okay. Anyways, is there another pitcher that the Cardinals can get that won't break the bank? So, in other words, is there another pitcher that they can add besides Jordan Montgomery and Sonny Gray? You started to look at me, Carey, with this.
What number are you thinking? What's reasonable?
To me, Carey, if it's not Montgomery or Snell or like making a trade, which is not going to happen, I don't want anybody.
Well,
don't just add a pitcher to add a pitcher. Add a top of the rotation pitcher.
But if you
there's no if.
I just kind of want to know your
I would rather go with one of these internal options then. If it's not going to be bringing back Montgomery,
you sound like
bringing in
John
Snell.
Mozeliak. Good job, Mo.
No, because I would actually.
No, you and Mo are in line. Give them to him, please. You and Mo are essentially in line.
Oh, no, I don't need those glasses. I don't need the glasses.
You said you got internal options.
Okay,
That's what you just said.
Before I wear these glasses, who's the pitcher that you're thinking of?
Well, there's a guy, right? There's a couple guys.
There's a couple guys.
Mike Clevenger, $8 million last year. He's a free agent, right? But a guy that I think would fit in well with this staff, seeing that we are not age discriminatory here.
There you go. Fire it up, Marsh.
He's
wearing them.
Made $8 million last year, pitching for your San Diego Padres. Old Rich Hill. He's available. He's here.
He made $8 million last year?
$8 million last year. One year for $8 million.
It's too expensive.
That's not. It's on par with. He's 47, 44.
47.
Listen, you could probably get him down to $4 million. Easy. You need more depth.
No.
You need more pitching.
Not that
Here
depth.
at St. Louis Cardinals LLC, that's what we're about. We're about finding guys that want to be here. We've talked about that, right, Marsh? We want guys that want to be here. I'm sure that Rich Hill, standing there at 43 years old and 6 days, would love to be here
Don't lump
in the
me into
St.
this.
Louis Cardinals uniform.
I don't like it.
And you had injuries. You've already had injuries. What are we doing?
Exactly. What are you doing?
He will be 44 in, this is perfect, 5 days. Sign him up.
He's a March guy.
That's a great birthday. He fits in with the fast lane. He's a March baby. You sign him up, all your problems are solved.
I don't know. I think you created more
you
problems.
add more depth and more age to the starting rotation. That's what we're looking for, right? Yes.
What about Jake Odorizzi?
Again, I'll stand. Look, local. Okay. I like Jake. Jake would be great. Jake's a local product. You know, it'd be awesome to see the kid come home. That'd be fantastic. Did I cover that?
You did a good job.
Thank you. Don't want to alienate anybody because he is from, just over the river.
You don't want to make people mad.
I don't want to make anybody. I think he'd be great. If we're not going to add to the top of the rotation, though, and Jake is not a top of the rotation pitcher, then what are we doing? I don't think you just add to add. And what you just did, what you just did there at Cardinals LLC was just add.
St. Louis Cardinals LLC.
Sorry. Yeah. My bad.
I don't know what you want to do.
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
if it's
you
not,
and John Mozeliak sound like you all are on the same page.
If it's not going to be,
if it's not
again,
broke, don't fix it.
You continue to overlook what I'm saying.
It's not broke, don't fix it. That's what you say.
If it's not going to be Montgomery or Snell
It's
on a
not going to be Montgomery or
two-year
Snell.
deal with a 1-year opt-out.
It won't be them.
Okay.
Unless you have another person go down in the next 2 weeks.
Even then.
It probably still won't be them.
Probably bring back Wainwright.
No, he's not pitching. His arm, he I don't think he has anything left to give. I think he literally left it all out there.
I agree.
Yeah. Does Matthew Liberatore and Zach Thompson have more to give? Like, are they close to their ceiling?
I don't think so. No. I don't know if Matthew Liberatore is a starter. He hasn't shown it yet. I think Zach Thompson. I think there's plenty of upside with Zach Thompson. Now, I don't know if that. Again, it's all relative because you say upside, it's like he's not an ace. I'm not saying he's an ace, but if his upside is a 3 or a 4. You need 5 guys in your rotation. Would you rather see a young guy that's homegrown, or would you continue to do this BS with bringing in 1-year deals with guys that are basically cooked?
You want guys that are going to be here for an extended period of time.
Thank you.
Younger players that can grow into being, an ace for your organization, or a number 2, number 3 that will eventually rise to that level of baseball player.
Yeah.
They're going to take time, though, which I think is why, again, they signed the 3 players that they did. So to give those players another year, I'm excited to see what Tink Hintz looks like at some point. I think we've kind of, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Have we fallen off the McGreevy and Graceffo bandwagon? Are we?
No, I just don't know if they're
how
ready.
Far away
they would know.
are they?
Probably.
Because I think Tink leapfrogged them in some people's opinion.
Well, I think all of those guys have an ETA of either September or next year.
Well, that doesn't help you a lot.
But you can't rush those guys just because you screwed up your pitching over the years.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You got to figure something out.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of people that want Trevor Bauer on this text line.
Yeah, good luck with that. We've got Jeremy Rutherford. They're not going to sign him. We've had the discussion.
I gave up 2 hits to a blogger.
Even that. I mean, they're not going to bring him in. I'm sorry. Hey, let me do this. I hear you. I understand you want. I understand you want Bauer. I get that. I also understand that he could pitch like a number 2. I hear what you're saying. We've had this conversation. The Cardinals are not signing him. So, all right.
All right.
Okay. Jeremy Rutherford next. A little Blues hockey. We'll get a preview of the trade deadline, too, with JR next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lost last night to the New York Islanders 4-2. They were winning 2-0 in the second period. The Islanders scored 4 unanswered goals to make it a 4-2 game. The Blues will take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. You can catch that right here on 101 ESPN. We're going to talk with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic, coming up next, so stay tuned. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Notes and nuggets. It's time for the Rutherford Report with our Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford. Brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Gary Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our 101 ESPN celebrity line. Talk to the one and only Jeremy Rutherford at JP Rutherford on Twitter if you want to give him a follow. Of course, he does great work for The Athletic covering the Blues, who lost last night, JR, and we won't spend a lot of time talking about last night's game. But if you were to just kind of summarize what you saw last night as they fell to the Islanders, what were some of the key points?
Yeah, Anthony, that's just a game that you have to stay on top of and you have to put away if you're the Blues in their situation. You're up 2-0, 11 shots on goal halfway through the game, doing a pretty good job because at that point the Islanders kind of taking it to you and you got the breaks and converted. And so I think those are the types of games this time of year. If you want to show your general manager that you're in this thing, you win those going away, and the Blues did not do that. So as such, I think they've continued to show Doug Armstrong that he needs to continue working the phones.
JR, to lose a game like that, as you said, be up 2-0, what is the mindset right now for this Blues team, do you feel?
I feel, Carey, like they know their situation. I've watched teams near the deadline who really felt like they had a good chance and who felt like the organization was in a good spot. They liked their situation, and they came together as a team and put things together when they needed to. I don't see that with this team. I see this team kind of, they see the retool sign as hanging over their head. They see that Doug Armstrong could possibly be dealing guys like Buchnevich, and they see what the situation is for what it is, and I think those are the types of performances that we've seen too often, like we did last night leading up to this deadline.
So, JR, I'll ask you a two-part question. Let's start off with the first one. You mentioned Buchnevich. Do you still think he's a St. Louis Blue at the end of Friday?
Yeah, so I've been asked this question, obviously, a lot leading into the deadline. I even talked to Tim McKernan on his show earlier today, and I feel like he could still be a Blue because it's a difficult deal to make heading into Friday's deadline. I mean, you have all the time in the world to trade him if you want to, including next offseason, next year's deadline. Like, he's got one more year left on his contract. But here's how things can change in a matter of a few hours. Look at all the deals around the league that happened today. Henrique goes to Edmonton yesterday. Matha went to Vegas. You got Winberg going to the New York Rangers today. So there's been a lot of activity. But the one thing is, guys, is that those teams that I think were in the market for a Buchnevich, a winger, and a guy who is going to at least cost a first-round pick, some of these teams have held on to their first-round picks. And so there is still the possibility that these teams could make a play for Doug Armstrong. And the one thing that you have to keep going back to, guys, he's got to strike while the iron's hot. So we can sit here and say that it makes more sense in the offseason. I've said that a million times the last week. But if there's offers where you're talking about a first-round pick, a first-round pick caliber player, maybe a guy who's already been drafted, and now if the Blues are going to retain salary, Buchnevich is already cheap, $5.8 million, point-per-game guy. And if you're going to retain up to 50%, you're going to get a monster package back. And so are you going to be able to get that next offseason? If you hang on and wait, you might not. that's what could change Doug Armstrong's mind and elect to do it before Friday.
So the second part of the question, of course, is what do you think the top return would be this year? And it doesn't, you don't have to break down like what specific draft pick or anything. Just give Blues fans a consensus of what they could get for Buch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in that neighborhood. I think it's going to be a first-round pick. I think it could be a recently drafted, and when I say recently, I'm talking, 2021, 2022, maybe even 2023, a guy who was just drafted in the first round. So that's the equivalent of 2 first-round draft picks when you talk about one being an actual pick and one being a player. And then I think you could get a young prospect. So especially the key here is retaining salary. A lot of these teams, as you guys know, cup contending teams, they're up against the cap. It's hard for them to bring money in unless they're pushing money out. So they're going to offer the draft picks, but if they're also going to fit Pavel Buchnevich into their fold, it's going to have to come as cheap as possible. And so you take that 5.8 and you have the Blues retain 50%. Now you're bringing in Pavel Buchnevich at $2.9 million. I think that's going to cost more than just those 2 first-round draft pieces. I think it could cost another player. So you're looking at a potential of a 3-piece deal for the Blues.
Hey, JR, what did you think of the Byram trade with the Avalanche and Casey Mittelstadt with the Sabres? What did you think of how that all went down?
Yeah, I think it's interesting on a couple fronts. Marshy, I think, first of all, that Buffalo had a good young player in Mittelstadt. They were talking about a possible contract extension. After the trade deadline, they were going to get those talks going, but they saw a deal with Colorado to make it for Bynum. So now Colorado gets its second-line center. They tried to fill that spot with Ryan Johansson. That did not work out, so they end up moving him to Philadelphia. He gets thrown on waivers. Mittelstadt now is going to come in and take over that number 2 spot for the Colorado Avalanche at center. And Bynum's a young defenseman with a lot of upside, so he's going to go to Buffalo, who already has a couple good defensemen with Dahlin and then also Owen Power, and make for a really good young defense. So good hockey trade, and I think it does help Colorado, though.
Not saying that the Blues could make a trade like that, of course, the whole cap situation and whatnot, but is that something that the Blues should look for? I know we talked about draft picks. Should they maybe go after a young, cost-controlled defenseman?
Yeah, I think they could. The tough part there is what are they going to do with the defense they got? Like they're going to have to find a way for one of these guys to waive the no trade, and you're potentially having to sweeten that pot by sending a draft pick to the team that's going to take, let's say, a Krug or a Letty or somebody, a Justin Falk. So I think, could the Blues try to bring in a good young defenseman, top 4 potential guy? I think they could, and they probably should, but I don't know that they can until they figure out what they're going to do with a couple of these veterans. But, yeah, that was a good hockey trade, Buffalo and Colorado, and I think the Blues will be in the market for those types of hockey trades. It's just they're going to have to find a way to move guys out first.
JR, we were in the office talking about it earlier and kind of came to, I guess, difference of opinions. Anthony believes defensively they need to be better, probably better defensemen going that route. Marshy is frustrated because they turned the puck over too much, and I feel that the team needs more grit. What do you think this team needs most?
Oh, my God. So do not ride the fence, and I swear I'm not trying to ride the fence here, but all 3 of you are right. all three of you are right.
Boy, what does that say?
Yeah, nobody sent me a text message saying, "Hey, free Ted Drews if you side with me when Carey asked this question." I swear, but no, it says a lot. The defense needs a makeover. Like, you can't keep moving forward with this group. Doug Armstrong even said it last year, guys. He said if we, and give the defense credit. It's been better this year, but it just needs to change and probably get younger, especially with a retool. The turnovers, I mean, you can't watch this hockey team play on some nights. It's just way too many turnovers, and it causes a ton of problems. And then grit, for sure. Like Carey, last night, up 2-0. Now the Islanders are coming back. It's 2-1, 2-2. I didn't see much grit there. Yeah. I didn't see much grit when it was 2-2 and Islanders take the lead 3-2. So I think all 3 of you are right.
All right, JR, well, we'll go off on that then. Yeah. We know you got a couple of busy days ahead of you, so we'll be following your coverage at The Athletic and, of course, at JP Rutherford. And we appreciate it, JR. I imagine you're going to be available if we need you, right, the next couple of days?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, and Carey, I'll be ready for that Ted Drews that you promised.
I got you. Thank you, brother.
All right, JR. See you, man. Yeah, he's going to be, as we know, he's going to be real busy as the trade deadline's on Friday. We'll know soon enough what the Blues do.
Not with the Blues. I think they're going to do anything.
Which is the point I made before, and you just keep saying, "Oh, he said we're going to win the cup." It's not what I said.
But you did. No.
Hey, they got a win the other day in Philadelphia. There's a lot of time left.
Absolutely.
We've seen that happen before in 2019. Anthony might be onto something.
Right? I didn't say it. Here comes our text line. It's 314-399-9646. If you have a question for us, send it there because our Sports Six-Pack is next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
All right, this one comes from the 314. Anthony, we were talking about the Marvel movies earlier today. 314 is curious if Anthony will watch the shows too. That's a big commitment.
Yeah, so I've bypassed the shows thus far. Doesn't mean I won't go back and watch them though. So like Daredevil, I saw there's like 3 seasons of that, and there's 3 seasons of
Unreal show.
Really?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll go back. But right now I'm just committed to the movies.
Okay.
I'm on
I didn't
a movie.
know the shows were a thing.
Yeah, there's Luke Cage?
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that one.
Luke Cage,
probably
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to watch those.
Defenders.
Feels like a lot of commitment.
I just stick with the movies.
I'm just going to stick with the movies for right now, but I'll circle back at some point. I mean, look, once I get through all these Marvel movies, there's going to be a big void in my life.
What number are you on?
I don't know. I'm pretty far in.
Probably like 12 or 13.
Out of how many?
There's like 25 plus.
Wow.
So
by the end of the month, you'll be might be done before then, where you're knocking them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Daredevil, if you like Reacher,
yeah,
you're gonna love Daredevil.
You know I like Reacher.
You're gonna love This guy's blind. He can't even see, and he's beating guys up.
You know I'm in for that. Yeah. Any show or movie that somebody gets their ass kicked when they deserve it, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's just kind of my movie.
Question number 2.
From the 573, what are you more concerned with this upcoming season for the Cards? The pitching staff to perform and stay healthy, or the offense to perform, score runs with a combination of veterans and young players?
So what are we most concerned about?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm more concerned about the offense. They're going to have to score. Yeah.
Because the pitching isn't going to be
There you
good.
go.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
I'm more concerned about the offense putting up numbers night in and night out, because there's probably going to be a need for it. And if they don't have success, if they struggle, you know what, man? I am a lifelong Cardinal fan, and I have no clue what to expect. And I honestly don't know the last time I felt that way. Like, I think going into last year, everyone was excited. You're coming off of a terrible playoff loss. You didn't like how it ended in 22, but you were really excited. You got Wilson Contreras. You know, he's not Yachty, right? We understood that, but he's going to bring something that Yachty didn't do as well. So you were excited about that. There was a level of excitement going into 2023. There ain't much excitement for 2024 because it's the fear of the unknown. And I don't think the organization did enough in the offseason to give you a jolt into being excited for 2024.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm more concerned about the pitching staff because as we saw last year, if you don't have pitching, you don't have. It doesn't matter.
You saw that last year.
It doesn't matter if your offense is good or not.
Just don't give up 3 runs in the first couple of innings.
You need to have if you're going to have a mediocre starting pitching staff, then your bullpen better be exceptional. Your offense better be great.
The bullpen, I believe, is better than last year.
Yeah, I got no issue with the bullpen.
I don't think that there is any question about that.
For people that kind of text in and say, "Oh, you're negative about everything," I've maintained that the bullpen. I'm very excited about the bullpen. I think the offense has the potential to be good, but the starting staff is capped.
I feel like
there's going to be no surprise. They're either going to be fine or they're going to be terrible. They ain't going to be great. Stamp it.
Good luck. You're going to need it.
Yes.
Question number 3.
Good luck.
So the 618 sent me a tweet from a Blues fan named Jeff. Jeff was saying that Nick Leddy may be the worst signing of Doug Armstrong's tenure. He can skate like hell, but has absolutely no business defending in a top 4 role. Give me Tyler Tucker defensively over Leddy. And the 618 wanted to ask, is Nick Leddy as a top pair D-man better for this team than if they had kept David Perron?
So that to me, I'm glad he brought it. I'm glad he brought up Perron, because if not, I would have. I think that a lot of, I'm not going to speak for the texter here, but I think, or the tweeter, but I think a lot of people's frustration anytime that Nick Leddy's on the ice, whether he's doing well or not, is rooted in not signing David Perron, because that cap space that could have went to Perron went to Leddy instead. If we can recognize that and then just say, all right, how is Nick Leddy perform? I don't think Nick Leddy's been terrible this season. I think he's been solid.
He's been injured.
I think he's way better than Tyler Tucker.
Is he better than Matthew Kessel?
Yeah, he's better than Matthew Kessel, but Matthew Kessel should be up. But Matthew Kessel's a young player too.
I think Matthew Kessel can be a really solid player for this team moving forward in the future.
But don't you agree, Marsh? Like this is rooted in not signing David Perron.
For sure. In the 618 who asked the question also said that he or she believes that that this is sort of like a Chris Pronger type deal with when Brendan Shanahan was traded.
Sure.
That he is he's getting that same type of treatment. Not because of how he's playing, but more so because of the whole Perron thing.
Sure. Yeah, I think Nick Leddy is fine. Should he be a top 4 defenseman? Can you upgrade and have him be a top 6 defenseman? That'd be my question. Can you upgrade defensively, get even better? And then how does he look as a second line D-man pairing or third line D-man pairing? Are you good with that?
I'm good with the team just being better.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Just be better.
Just be better. All right. I don't
care what it looks like.
Do something. Do better.
Please, and thank you.
Marsh has reached that point of ultimate frustration.
He's frustrated.
I'm not even
very
frustrated. I'm just
he yelled. Marcia, you strike me as a guy that yells at the TV. What are you doing?
You know what? I was having that conversation.
Stark.
Yeah. I was watching the game, what was it, last week, and I was watching with one of my buddies who's not a huge hockey fan. Like, he understands the game for a little bit, but just likes watching the game. Not a huge hockey guy by any means. But the entire time we're watching the game, I'm out loud saying move your feet, or help him out. We're in the corner and there's no help in the corner. I'm help him out. But I'm not yelling shoot or anything, but I'm just little things that I see. So yeah, I do yell at the TV. I'm just yelling and there's a TV in the room.
There you go.
And my favorite team is playing.
But he's actually
he's
35
passionate.
years old.
Yeah, he's passionate.
He's an older gentleman.
I'm 35.
He's an old soul. That Andrew Marsh.
Question number 4.
From the 618, do you guys think the Cardinals will sell over $3 million in ticket sales this upcoming year?
How many did they sell last year? 3 million?
Will they sell that?
Is that what they had go through the
I don't.
through the gates last year?
No, I don't.
You don't think they will this year? Are you doubting?
Well, see, this is tricky, right? Is it pre-sale stuff, or is it actually people that are in the seats?
Well, you just count what was paid for, buddy.
Well,
right.
the whole
It doesn't matter if they show up or not.
Yeah. So from that standpoint, yeah, I think they probably will. I think they'll sell the tickets. Do I think that we're still going to see a lot of red seats at some point? You bet your sweet ass.
Especially on a Tuesday night against Colorado.
If they don't play well, I don't care how dedicated you are. You don't want to buy that product.
What are your expectations for the St. Louis Cardinals this year?
My expectations are they win the NL Central.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that excite you?
No.
Okay. Win and go home?
You know why I'm saying that, though, right? You know why I'm saying?
Because you don't think anybody else tries in
Correct.
the Central. Yeah. So by default,
Yes.
it's not actually them doing something. It's everyone
It's
else
not on their own.
doing
Correct.
something. That stinks, man.
Well, it's been that way for a long time.
Wow.
We have to be honest about that. They have literally had one team most years as their competitors, and that's it. That is a massive benefit to this team. And we wonder why they fall short in the postseason as much as they have. Because they're not good enough. Your roster isn't good enough.
Not ready.
Well, I won 90 games. You're playing garbage.
Hello. You play to win the game.
And it's not even like they're taking advantage of it like the Patriots did. You had 3 bumble you-know-whats in the AFC East division for 2 decades. J.P. Lossman. You had a team actually draft J.P. Lossman. You had a team that actually drafted, you go through all the Jets drafts. You were playing them. The Marlins, the Dolphins had nothing.
Marlins as well.
Marlins, yeah. Let's talk about 98 and 02 or whatever. 01.
97 and 03.
03, thank you. The Patriots benefited, and they actually won. The Cardinals have benefited for how long now? One team. They just
ever since I've been alive.
The Reds were good for a stretch. Then the Brewers got good for a stretch. The Cubs got good for a stretch. The Pirates for a year.
But it's only one team.
But it's only one team.
Or for a few years.
I'll push back. That 2015 year, there were 3 teams that had like 90-plus wins.
There's always exceptions, all right? There's always exceptions. Okay. But most years.
Mm-hmm. But isn't that the case in most divisions?
Well,
like you have a dominant team.
Let's look at the American League East, shall we, Carey?
Okay. Yep.
Baltimore Orioles, the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Toronto Blue Jays.
All right.
Would you like to go to the, the American or the National League East?
So what about the NL West?
NL West, you've got the
Dodgers.
NL pennant winning Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, come on.
Well, you want to throw them in my face, I'll throw them in your face. All right? You want to be a Diamondback to me, I'll be a Diamondback to you.
Come on.
You got the Dodgers. You got the Giants.
You got teams that don't.
You've got the Diamondbacks. You got the Padres. I'm talking about teams that are
money.
I'm talking about teams but at least they're trying to improve their team.
Still better than the Cardinals.
You have one Pittsburgh Pirates team in the NL West, and that's the Rockies.
All right, the AL Central.
AL Central, I'll give you. I'll give you that one.
Nobody's trying there.
Nope.
They might be worse than the NL Central.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, the Royals exist.
The Royals tried.
The White Sox exist.
In their own Royals way.
Nah. They're just getting ready for football there in Kansas City.
And the AL West, you got the Rangers. You've got the Astros. The Angels tried. They just didn't succeed.
Did they try, though?
Yeah, they just didn't succeed.
They still smoked us when they played us.
Mariners have been trying. But most divisions. The Cardinals, Carey, this has been that way. This has been this way forever. And I got to listen to the same crap over and over and over again. Oh, we won 90 games. Yeah, you did. You did. You mopped up the crap in the NL Central. And the first time that they went to a balanced schedule, you finished dead last. The first time they went to a balanced schedule.
That's what gives me concern.
Your ass finished dead last.
That's the part that gives me concern.
And you want to tell your fans you're trying.
Yeah, last year was the first year where you couldn't beat up on the NL Central as much as you were accustomed to. And you had to play it balanced, and it wasn't good.
I'm literally ticked off for the fans. I really am. Because you buy the stuff. I've seen it. I've walked into a grocery store on a playoff day. Sea of red. I've been there many times on opening day.
I mean, there is a store that, like, their entire brand is, like, the color red, though.
Okay, Marsh, I'm talking about Cardinal red.
Oh, okay.
Not just any red. Or whatever Fanatics red has got these days. But, I mean, opening day, it's a college atmosphere.
90 games.
You guys buy it.
90
and
games.
Support it. And then you got these people, just get in. Come on, you got to do better.
They had the World Baseball Classic last year.
And the rule changes.
The rule changes.
What are you talking about?
Seriously, first time, balanced schedule. Balanced schedule. You finished dead last.
It took them a while to catch on. You just struggled.
I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. You didn't beat up on the Pirates and the Reds and the other crap.
You didn't have time to practice because the World Baseball Classic.
The freaking Cubs didn't try from the majority of their existence. And you benefited from that. Well, you're not benefiting, so do better now. Try harder. Think now. I don't know what happened. Really. You have no idea what happened last year. Your pitching sucked. And you didn't benefit from the schedule. Because you played real teams this time. Multiple times. All right, that'll do. What question do we end on, Marsh?
We got through 4 questions.
Nah, okay, we'll move on. That's good enough. I feel like we answered a lot of questions within the questions, you know?
Oh, man.
We just let you go.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
That's usually the
I
best
got to
thing.
get this out, you know?
Yeah, Anthony.
Let's talk. Here's the thing. I often feel, I don't feel bad because I don't have a soul, but I start to think, am I too negative? So let's spend one segment talking about a great element to this Cardinals team for 2024, or at least the possibility of it. All right?
Let's do it.
That's next on 101 ESPN. Have you ever been somebody that has looked back and said, man, I wish I would have done this 3 months ago or a year ago? That's how I feel about Mentality. Jamie and I went down to Mentality a couple months back, and we got signed up to their program because we found out that through Mentality we had low testosterone. And for guys, it happens. We get older, our testosterone dips. What does that mean? Why is that important for guys? Well, as Mentality will tell you, your mood can change. You could fluctuate consistently. You could be irritable, frustrated, angry a lot, and you don't know why. You can have lack of sleep. You can have lack of motivation, which could impact not only your work, but how about getting your workouts in? Feeling like you're younger, doing the things that you know is going to have you performing at your peak ability. Mentality helps. They've got great programs that are designed to help you specifically, and as your testosterone starts to naturally raise, and they monitor everything for you too. Every 5 to 10 weeks, they'll draw your blood, make sure you're on track, make sure nothing else is going on, because that's important, right? You want to make sure that this isn't just something that you're not monitoring. No, Mentality does that for you. But over time, you start to feel better. And when you feel better and you feel motivated and you feel energized, you get your workouts in. Your work is better. Your home life improves. Everything starts to fall into place. You're eating better. All that, it all clicks for you. When you head down to Mentality, either South County or the Chesterfield location, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. They'll love to hear that. They'll get you something too. Or you can check them out at lowtusa.com. But check them out. It's Mentality, either South County or out in Chesterfield. It's Mentality. this real quick. 509, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Got multiple texts in complaining about us, and we don't hide from anything here. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe in the fast lane. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Marshy, let it rip.
All right, so we have 2 texts. I'll start off with the first one. From the 314, dude, holy smokes, you guys have been insufferable today. Every show on 101 except for T-Mac and Ajax, a.k.a. the balloon party.
Those guys are great. Don't, you got no pushback on that.
Did they talk about today? Did they talk about the
I have no idea.
Okay.
Second text. We've got an entire radio station full of the exact same opinion. Is there anybody with enough Liberty Bells to step out and maybe say something different?
About what? About what? Your Cardinals? Am I reading this right? Insufferable meaning like we're not talking good about the Cardinals?
Maybe they're delusional. Maybe they saw something that I didn't see last year. Because you know what I saw? I saw a lot of blown saves. I saw a lot of poor pitching. I saw no timely hitting. I saw a team that looked lethargic and disinterested in most of the games. I saw a catcher get thrown under the bus by his entire pitching staff and nobody step out in front of him. Never mind that the pitchers were the ones that actually threw the pitches from their hand to the catcher, and they blamed him. He called pitches we didn't have. One time, maybe. It probably happens more than people admit because you got a lot of pitchers that you have to call pitches for. And sometimes it may slip your mind. And so I saw a lot of things last year. And people said, oh, it's the World Baseball Classic. Oh, the rule changes. There were so many different excuses for why that team's Albert retired. Yadier Molina isn't here. All I heard was excuses. I didn't see play. I didn't see guys performing well enough to be successful at the job that they're paid to do. And then they blamed the manager as if he stepped in the batter's box more than one time last year. I checked the stats. Didn't see his name on there. Didn't see him do much of anything. Saw a center fielder who used to be a left fielder who was at one time a top 10 MVP candidate jogging. He wasn't jogging. The hell he wasn't. I know what people look like when they run fast. I've been watching the combine for 4 days. The hell are you talking about, huh? What is there to be excited about from last year as you transition into this year? Your ace is already injured. The guy that you thought was going to come and be the person that you didn't have to worry about the bullpen the day he pitched. He's injured, and to an injury that he's had the previous season. I don't know if it's the same hamstring, but he's had it twice in the last year, which is problematic as well. What do people want? I didn't mean to steal your thunder because you were fired up about these texts.
I would just like to know. No, Carey, you're making great points. I would like to know what's insufferable about it. Do you want us to? And I don't even know if this is about the Cardinals. I didn't even mention the Cardinals.
It is.
It's about the Cardinals. Right? Yes. Do you have more?
No, it just said yes. The Cardinals.
All right, no problem.
We did get another text from the 636. On the reel, you guys are pretty well known for just regurgitating each other top stories of each program.
Okay, in our defense, you've got 2 teams here that the majority of listeners want to hear about. It's the Blues and the Cardinals. I don't know what you want. Now, if you're talking about City SC, you don't want me talking soccer. Trust me on that. You don't.
Hey.
Matt Rocchio and Moon do a great job. They got a podcast. They do it frequently. That's your soccer talk.
Battlehawks is on the way.
Battlehawks on the way.
There you go.
You got 2 teams. We try to talk NFL, you bitch.
You do. And you don't let me talk basketball. You complain about that, too.
As soon as this man tries to talk basketball, you jump all over him. So, do you want Blues and Cardinals talk? Because I think the majority of you do.
Giannis and Dame ain't working. I'm sorry.
Okay, but... Hey, you've been warned. That's enough basketball talk. There's about 3 seconds there. Do you want to? What do you want? You want me to put a positive spin on it? I'll put a positive spin on it.
Riley O'Brien, great bullpen acquisition.
I think the Cardinals bullpen is going to be fantastic this year. I think that the starting rotation is going to be fine enough, and the bullpen will save you. And all of these, this offense, the young hitter is going to be excellent. I think Jordan Walker is going to be an MVP candidate. I think Mason Wynn's going to win Rookie of the Year. I think Nolan Arenado is going to get back to his MVP status. I think Goldie's going to have one of the best seasons ever. Wilson Contreras, you kidding me? Led the team in OPS last year, going to do it again this year. Tommy Edmonds going to rebound from his injury. He's going to be fine. Lars Newport's going to be the best player he's been the most underrated player. It's a really good team. It's a really good team. Do I have the Liberty Bells to say what I just said there? You feel better about it now?
Yeah,
You're ticked off listening to us. It's free programming. You're ticked off. How about you look at yourself? Look at yourself in the mirror. Why are you ticked off? Why me, Carey, Marsh, what we're saying upsets you? Why?
You're not saying what they want to hear.
I can't. I can only say what I feel.
And you can only talk about what you saw.
Correct. What do you want me to do? You want me to tell you Lance Lynn's going to have an unbelievable season? Or this starting rotation's as good as the Atlanta Braves or the LA Dodgers or what? What do you want me to say? I'll say it. I want everybody to be happy. How can I make you happy? That's what I care about.
You can't make everybody happy.
No, I want to at least try. So we're unsufferable. You want to hear what? More positive Cardinals talk? After you finish dead last in a garbage division? You tell me. What do you want?
You're not mad at me. You're mad at your dad.
That's 100%. Marsh, that's the main point. I'm glad you didn't overlook that. If you have this visceral reaction to us talking about it, there is something else you're ticked off about. Maybe you don't like hearing the truth at your ear hole. I don't know. But
they
if you
want to feel comfortable.
You want to feel comfortable? You want to feel good?
Yeah.
You want to pat your ass? Okay.
Yeah.
Cardinals are going to be good this year.
There you go.
There you go. It'd be real good.
It's done.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that went very well.
I agree.
Bullpen's going to be good this year.
Yeah.
And you know what, too? If you tick us off long enough, you got a couple football guys. We'll talk football the whole damn show. All right? Okay? 4 hours.
Oh, we could definitely do that.
We'll talk about the combine. If you're not careful.
Won by Xavier Worthy.
All of a sudden, they'll be like, hey, guys, you're not so insufferable. Please talk about my Cardinals.
By the way, from the texter that we initially got this from about the Liberty Bells, also said, bring it on, Carey. I'd love to hear hoops talk. Someone please talk about the Cavs. No one, which, by the way, a big win for Cleveland last
came
night.
Back against Boston.
Nobody talks about them. Even the NBA app. They all said last night Boston lost. No, who they lost to. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, okay. All right. So thank you for the text again. I feel like so you're upset because your Cavs won a big game last night. No, I'm being serious. So this texter, if I have this right and be honest, you were hoping that we'd talk about your Cavs beating the Celtics and giving them credit. Instead, you did not hear that talk. So we're garbage.
Yeah, we're the bad guys.
I think that
was a big win last night.
That was a big win.
Jason Tatum, they called a foul and they rescinded it and said it wasn't a foul and he missed the shot and the Cavs won the game.
Yeah.
They were down. Dean Wade went for like 20 in the fourth quarter. Not D Wade.
Dean Wade.
The new D Wade.
The new D Wade.
But you know what? Through all of that, we ended up talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what?
On the Kelsey brothers bobblehead night.
Yeah. They were there.
You know what ticks me off too? You hear a lot of these like national people talking about how the Celtics choked. That's not the way I look at it. I look at it as Cleveland took that victory.
They were down by 20 in the fourth.
Yeah, they took it from them.
Came back.
Yep.
Good win.
And I'm kind of sick of the people not understanding that.
You got to stop talking about basketball now.
Yeah,
right. The next segment.
I honestly don't know where we're going to go. We'll talk sports or something next. Maybe we'll just get to Marvel movies here on 101 ESPN. So, R&R Tire Express. You know, if you're ticked off, you're driving around and you just blew a tire, R&R Tire Express, they got you covered. They're fantastic. The tax time, as you know, man, is deal time for R&R Tire Express, and they're matching payments throughout the month of March. Need new tires, you need new wheels, you don't know how you're going to pay for them, call R&R Tire Express right now, 1-833-ROLL-NOW. You can also visit them at rnrtires.com, rnrtires.com. You can request a quick quote while they're matching payments on all in-stock tires and wheels at R&R Tire Express throughout the month of March. You might be asking, well, what do you mean match payments? When you pay 2 weeks, they'll pay 2 weeks. You pay 3 weeks, they'll pay 3 weeks. You get the idea on that. It just means that when you pay 1 week, they're going to match a week on all new tire and wheel installs at R&R Tire Express. Free flat repair, free rotations, free tire installations, flexible payment options, plus, again, that peace of mind coverage I was just talking about. So call 1-833-ROLL-NOW or visit rnrtires.com. Got another beauty text. Stop blaming the fans. We're not. It's our job. It's your job to hold Mo accountable. I've said this over and over again. You impact Mo's money. You impact DeWitt's money, not me. You think he tunes in to 101 ESPN to hear what me, the idiot, says?
Well, here's the thing.
People will sip Kolak here. In the same breath, people will be like, you're an idiot, Stalter. You should hold Mo accountable. If I'm an idiot, what do you think you think he's going to listen to me? I don't impact his money. You do.
You have the ear of the people.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't have the ear of my family. You think I got the ear of Mo?
They don't know. Cardinals brass, they listen to us, right?
No.
They drive into the stadium and drive home every day from 2 to 6, and they have the fast lane on. And so, John Mozeliak, according to the fans, we must hold you accountable. You listen here, brother. We're sick of it. We're sick of it. We want more for our fans and ourselves. And we expect more. We demand more. That's us pounding on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cardinal fans, what you have to do is exactly what Anthony just said. Stop going to the games, man. If you're that mad.
If you want impact
if you want change.
Yes.
Because I don't think us ranting and raving on here, we talk about the Cardinals. We
do, and then we're called insufferable. Like, guys, you can't have it both ways.
We want the Cardinals to win. I do. I think I speak for everyone in here.
I do too.
I think we all want the Cardinals to win. We want the Blues. Okay,
I'm kidding. We do. We want
the Cardinals to win. We want the Blues to win.
Yes.
We want everybody in the city to win.
Yes.
But we cannot. I don't have a paycheck. I don't have a book. I can't pay any money for Cardinals players to sign. I don't write the checks.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell people what I see.
Right.
And what I saw last year was a team that stunk, man.
Yes.
They stunk, top to bottom.
But no, I'm with you because we get with the one text like, no, I just want you to say something positive. I'm positive. I can barely get it out. No, I want them to do well. Here's how this works, right? Like, if the Cardinals are really good or the Blues are really good, you tune in more. I want you to tune in more. And you may say, well, I pay your salary. You don't. You don't. But the advertisers that
the Cardinals do.
The Cardinals do. The Cardinals do, as some of you have pointed out. No, I want you. Listen, in all seriousness, we here in the Fast Lane, I won't talk about it every other show, but we in the Fast Lane, man, we want you to participate. We want you to feel a part of it, man. We feel like we're a show that's hanging out at the bar, and we want everybody to grab a seat and come up and you know, chat with us and have a good discussion about it. Unless you're one of these Diamondbacks that continue to text in about you hold them accountable.
They can join us too.
Yeah, they're just in the back.
They have an opinion. We'll listen. That doesn't make you right. Doesn't make us right.
No.
But here's the thing. Again, we want the Cardinals to be successful. We all sat here and watched 91 losses last year.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been more. Like the fact that they got to 71 wins was amazing because it didn't look like they were going to get to 70 at one point. They were stinking. It's not something that us as Cardinal fans, lifelong Cardinal fans, are accustomed to. Don't expect to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again. I have no clue because I've never experienced this what I witnessed last year.
Yep. So
I don't know what to expect going into the following season. And, you know, the team hopefully added the players that they needed to add to be better. But I would... Correct me if I'm wrong. You would be more excited if they added Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery or Jordan Montgomery.
Even if they did something that was out of just slightly out of character, I would be intrigued, like what you just said.
There you go. Like you would be. You know what? They are actually and this is no knock. This is not a knock against Kyle Gibson. This is not a knock against Lance Lynn. This is not a knock against Sonny Gray. It's not a knock against anybody who they signed or who is here on the current roster now.
Mm-hmm.
But when you perform so poorly as they did last year, a historic in my lifetime, I don't recall seeing 90 losses. I just don't remember. Maybe it was in the 80s, early 90s, I think the last time it happened. I just don't recall it.
Yeah.
This was bad, really, really, really bad. And so you want this team to show effort to say, you know what, first of all, not just show effort, acknowledge that it took place and don't pretend like we are not witnesses of what we saw. We all watched and it was bad, man. Acknowledge, you know what, last season wasn't great. Why wasn't it great, Mo? Pitching didn't do what we thought it was going to do. We thought we had this. Guys didn't perform to the level that we needed them to. Guys were injured and unable to perform at the level we needed them to. And so we moved on at the trade deadline from a few guys, got better, hopefully, for next season. And in the offseason, you know what we did? We went out and added pitchers that we think are going to make us better than we were in 2023. Acknowledge it first, and then tell us what exactly took place, and then tell us why it's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple. That's all you have to do. And Cardinal fans will not, because even if it doesn't go as well as you want it to this year, at least you know that the plan was to be better. Not, man, when we did when we were supposed. It's very smug and it feels condescending.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't have a level of excitement because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And it's that simple.
All right, we got the Marsh. Go ahead.
I hope we're all wrong.
Yeah,
I hope we're all wrong.
I'm wrong. A lot.
I mean, you had the White Sox in the World Series.
I had the White Sox in the World
Did you?
Series.
No, you didn't.
I have it in my
he
phone.
did not.
Oh, yeah.
I like the young
The
pitching.
Chicago White Sox?
Okay, Carey. Some people had the Cardinals in the World Series, so it's just as
wasn't me.
bad.
That wasn't that
Jamie
much.
did.
It wasn't that much of a stretch.
He
I
did. He had the Blue Jays, too.
Oh, did you?
I think I did, too.
Oh, okay. Where'd they finish?
Yeah, not great.
All right, thank
Dead
you.
last. Where'd the White Sox finish? Second to dead last?
Probably fourth. Yeah. I like their pitching.
You would like
I was
their
wrong
one of their
about them, but I
pitchers
liked
now,
them.
wouldn't you?
I certainly would. Yeah. I like their pitching staff better than yours a year ago. It just didn't work out.
Oh, one of the guys on their pitching staff last year is actually on this pitching staff. So
There you go. And the other one is hurt.
Wasn't the one I was looking for. But
I was going to say we got what you asked for, Anthony.
no, not really. Not really. All right, we got the biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are back in action tomorrow, taking on the New Jersey Devils. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked earlier today with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic, talking about last night's 4-2 loss to the Islanders, getting into some of the trade deadline rumors and whatnot as the trade deadline approaches in the NHL. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just go to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, some of the most creative ideas are the ones that you do on the fly, the ones that are reactionary and that you don't think about, that you use zero brain cells for. That's what we're here for in the Fast Lane. So, Marsh, can you read off some of the text messages that we got? Because we've got a great idea for tomorrow, and we're all in on it.
Do you want that specific text message, or do you want some of the not so positive ones?
Well, just the ones that are related to the idea that we just cooked up in 30 seconds.
Okay, so the one called "Ring Our Liberty Bells."
Yeah,
where the listeners give us a chance to just rant. So you give us a topic, and then we'll just rant about it.
Okay, so
whatever you want.
That was good. We could paraphrase this too. We've gotten a fair amount of. You got the hockey one in front of you? No big deal. We've been getting a lot of text messages in the last half hour.
One, yes.
Complaining about certain topics that we're not covering.
The NHL deadlines.
The NHL deadline. You probably just jumped in your car. You didn't hear us talking about it and probably fired off the text.
That could have been sarcastic, too. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that could be sarcastic.
I might have Jamie brain.
It could be sarcastic. Like sarcasm.
Yeah, that's fine. That's funny. If it was, very creative. But if it was serious, we have been talking about the NHL trade deadline. But we've also gotten texts of, why aren't you more positive? I want to hear more positive, Cardinals. So tomorrow, and this is a horrible idea that could go very well. But tomorrow, we have heard your complaints, okay? All the things that, why don't you talk about this? All the people that have been whining, and you know who you are. So we want all our whiners, all our big whiners out there. Tomorrow's your day. And also the other people that just think it's a cool idea. We're not going to plan anything for the show. We are not. I've never done. I've been on this radio station for 12 years. 12 years at the end of the month. 12 years I'll be here. I have never done this. I've done a lot of shows. I've done shows with a lot of people at a lot of different time slots. I've never done this.
It's going to be intriguing. It's going to be fun.
You can pick out the topics tomorrow.
For how many segments are
Every segment.
4 hours?
We'll have Kerber. We'll have, Gauntlet, Sports
the Gauntlet.
What's trending.
Some of the benchmarks, there's some of the things that are sold.
Oh, my goodness.
But you get to pick out every topic, starting with the first segment. So
we're going to come in and just not have anything for 2 minutes?
Yes. So you can text in whatever it is. Now, Marsh is going to have to weed out some of them, okay?
Oh, man.
But whatever it is, if you don't talk enough hockey. Well, throw out, it's got to be a topic, okay? That's the only rule. It's got to be an actual topic. Like, I don't know, it could be as simple as, will Pavel Buchnevich still be a Blue by the end of Friday?
Okay.
Boom. Then Carey and Carey and Marsh got to run with it. All right? So we've heard you. We've heard you complaining. Or even if you haven't been complaining, you're like, cool, I want to participate. Great. You're the person that we like.
Some people are just angry, man.
I know, but Carey, I'm big on spite. So
you're an Aries, of course
I'm
you are.
big on spite.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
Wasn't he the god of war?
Yeah, he was.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, he's just, listen.
Aries was the god of war.
He was, okay.
Yeah.
Just ready to go.
Not the cool one from the video games, but
No, not
you know what I'm talking-
Kratos.
Not Kratos.
No, the actual god of war was Aries. Yeah. He's an angry fellow. And so is Carey and I.
Yeah.
So, you can pick out the topics tomorrow.
Oh, this is going to be.
Some of the texts that really drive me crazy.
Does it have to be sports related?
Nope.
Nope. There you go. 618.
Nobody's done this.
I mean, we already, from leading up first tomorrow, I mean, this is what we're getting from the 314, the ultimate debate. Not, Michael Jordan or Kobe. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Hell no.
I mean,
15 minutes of hot dog talk.
To protect ourselves, we don't have to talk the entire segment about it.
Okay.
All right. So we might do, and that's what we do anyways. I mean, we could do multiple topics in a segment.
Oh, man.
Cool.
We'll see.
Because over the years, I don't know how many times, now you guys have read the text. I don't know how many times,
are amazing.
Why don't you talk about this? Or why aren't you talking enough about this? Well, tomorrow's dedicated to you.
The entire day.
We got a text from Nate. What are you thinking? I will not listen until Friday. Thanks, Nate.
Hey, Nate, we're sorry to lose you for tomorrow. But your fellow brethren, this is your fault.
I'm trying to find this text. I think it's from the 636.
You're tired of us talking about the same things?
Yeah.
All right.
Got a text from the 636. I just tuned in. What are you guys doing tomorrow? And at what time does it start?
Yeah, thank you. 2:00. The listeners are going to pick out the topics.
The entire show.
Yep. Save for the Gauntlet and save for Curbs and all that.
We got another text from the 314. So basically tomorrow you guys are going to take the entire show and actually get through the sports six-pack.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yep. Cool. All right. There you go.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing. This could be an epic failure,
This could be
the
awesome.
greatest show we've ever done.
I feel like that's on brand, though.
Yeah.
I mean, well, again, you say it all the time. We're just a bunch of guys that, if there was a bar right here with bar stools, we'd be sitting in them.
We'd be
There's just
ham-sauced.
microphones in front of our face.
Yeah, we'd be ham sauce and we'd talking about sports. That's what the show's all about. And tomorrow you get to participate in that way. So entire show tomorrow. After I say let's get nasty on a Thursday, we will go right to the text line for the first topic.
I do like this one from the 618. I want a segment on conspiracy theories that everyone believes.
Cool.
We could spin that to like sports conspiracies too.
Whatever it is that you want to talk, because here's the other thing. This is where my spite comes in, Carey. Afterward, like on Friday, if we get, why don't you guys talk about this? Where were you yesterday? We just did a whole show.
An entire 4 hours of it. Well, maybe 3.
Bingo.
But the other segments we got built in.
Are we off early tomorrow?
Oh,
We are, yeah.
at 5.
Perfect time. That was smart. I didn't even realize it. Because with all the benchmarks, we'll really only have like 3. You know what? Never mind. We got Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN. miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com, your 101 ESPN mobile app, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Hey, you can tackle your 314-day plans with the Battlehawks next Thursday, March 14th at Ballpark Village. Celebrate all things STL with a free 314-day. 314-day. I think I said 314-day Battlehawks Town Hall event with head coach Anthony Becht and the Battlehawks brass. The event is free to attend and will feature fan favorite activities, ticket giveaways, exclusive merchandise, live music, and more. Plus, we, the Fastlane, will be broadcasting live from 2 to 6, courtesy of Sumner One. Brooke will be out there as well, hosting the event. You can check out all the details now at 101ESPN.com. The person that did text in and say, hey, talk about the Cardinals in like a nice way, had a longer text, and we'll get to that tomorrow. So if you're still listening, we appreciate the longer text explanation on why we should
do what you want us to do,
change our viewpoint on the Cardinals and why there's plenty of hope for them to win it all in 2024. And we'll get to that tomorrow.
That is Anthony Stalter that said that.
No, the texter forced me to because he's a bit of a crybaby. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I am. I kid. I do. All right. Anyways, bet the board time. Marsh, you won yesterday.
I did win.
So you're 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
I won yesterday, 2-1.
Nah.
Carey, Jamie won yesterday, but he's 1-2.
Nah.
Carey, you lost. You're 1-2.
Nah.
So the order of operation today. Marsh, do you have a pick? You can go
I
first.
do have a pick.
Go for it. We won't
I'm
overlap.
looking and I'm seeing that Giannis might be questionable, Carey.
Don't you do it.
I'm going to go
This guy.
with the Golden State Warriors minus 3.5.
Did you just take Carey's play?
He is terrible.
Wow.
Oh, that's awful, man.
All right, well,
I gotta.
Carey, you figure
gotta
out.
regroup.
You figure out your next play. I'm going to take the number 2 team in the country, who probably are still number 1, the defending champion, UConn Huskies. They're minus 5.5 tonight against Marquette. They're 9-1. They drilled whoever they played on Sunday. I think it was Seton Hall, coming off the loss. So give me UConn over Marquette minus 5.5 tonight.
Oh man, that ruined it. You don't even pick basketball, Marshy.
I'm looking at the slate of NHL games here. I just didn't like what I saw.
I don't like it either. So
Should we announce Jamie's play?
Yeah, you go with Jamie's play.
I will say,
gotta regroup.
The line that I'm looking at, Golden State is a minus 150 money line favorite, which does fall into the group.
Does it? Well, there.
Minus 150. I took the spread. Doesn't mean you can't take the money line.
I'll take the money line. Golden State Warriors.
But is it minus 152?
Mine says 152. He says 150.
I saw minus 150, but if...
So we're going to give it to you? Warriors money line? All right, we'll give it to you. Warriors money line, and you have the spread.
It's the least that I can do.
Give me the Los Angeles Lakers. They're minus 138 at home versus the...
Okay. There we go. I like that a little better.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, and Jamie just texted me. He said he's got he said he's got the Buffalo Sabres tonight, plus 160 in Toronto.
Ooh.
Yep. Jamie's pretty good at calling those upsets.
Yeah, he must have liked the trade that the Buffaloes made with the Colorado Avalanche.
So he's got Buffalo tonight, plus 160. All right, Marsh, take it away.
Yeah, let's just get right into the criticisms because we've had a few today. From the 314, without Jamie, this show is garbage.
Thank you.
You complaining on and on about people complaining about you is really bad radio.
Thank you.
We're sorry that you feel that way.
Nailed it.
We got a text. I'm not sure if this one's gonna fly for 3 stars of the day. Maybe I'll save it. But Dean Wade is one of the texters. We'll just call it an honorable mention because I don't know, out of all the good stuff that we've had today, I don't know if Dean Wade cracks the top 3. Although he'd had a pretty good performance last night.
He did.
Did pretty well.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Oh, Dean Wade.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right. This is from FedEx Brian. Criticisms and compliments. Prove me wrong. Should be an everyday thing for at least 2 segments.
Prove me wrong is fun.
It is.
I don't want to overdo it, but yeah, it's fun. I'm glad you like it.
Glad you like it. Didn't give you the buzzer for one of them. You need a bell. Gave you.
I didn't even fight the one.
Oh yeah, you didn't. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You didn't even try.
No.
You didn't have a.
I didn't have a case.
You didn't. It's okay.
I wanted to settle. So. We
We got a text from 314. Show was awesome today.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So, all right, let's get to our we already did that. Let's get to our 3 stars of the day.
Yeah.
Our 3rd star of the day goes to owls, who are nocturnal animals, but they don't have brown fur or whatever.
Plumage.
I think it wasn't I think it's like plumage.
Yeah.
I probably should have took the options on that one.
Probably. I liked your confidence, though. I liked your confidence on the ones you got wrong today. Owl and Penn State.
So confident.
Yep.
No good.
Oh, well.
Shout out for our 2nd star goes to arsenic. That's Anthony's favorite element on the periodic table.
Absolutely.
In fact, fun fact, it's the only one that you know.
That's correct. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I probably should know more, but arsenic's kind of a badass element. So
it is. And our 1st star of the day, everybody texting in. Ranthony, who was on full force today. Ranthony, the god of war, as some people are now calling him. 1st star of the day here in the Fast
All right,
Lane.
good stuff. Nice job, guys. Nice job. Yeah, we appreciate you, including the people that sent in some nasty text messages today.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, right here. Right here on 101 ESPN. Absolutely. All right, we got Blues Instant Replay coming up from 6 to 7, so you'll hear some great Blues-related content. For Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.